So we might as well jump in. Why not? Oh, well, I forgot we have this. We have to set up Julia. But hopefully we'll get her set up and going. What's up, everybody? I hope you guys enjoyed Julia's stream. I only caught a little bit of it because life, you know. We actually had a gigantic storm here today. And I don't know if anybody else was hit by that. What's up? Deluxe Tux, Retro and Sal, Jim's Plays Games. Oh, now I'm getting robocalls. Hold on, let's see who this one is. Let's see if this one's a good one. Nope, fake. I was hoping maybe it was an announcement, but our neighbors, a lot of our neighbors lost power. We actually have power, which is good. I don't know, it was crazy. Put the robo on the stream. Yeah, right. I should actually. Deluxe Tux, where are you located again? Oh yeah, you're definitely right here. So here we go. Let's do the, we'll give a little ad for the shout out while I try to lock in Julia here. Okay, we've got her, I believe. Oh, but are you going to be able to see me when this comes back? Maybe not.
Hey.
Ah, we hear you.
Hello.
The only problem is I think I have to shut my video off for you. Otherwise, they won't be able to see me.
What?
And yeah, it's wild. There we are. Boom. And here we are. Now with the both of us are live. Welcome to another Tuesday edition of Making of the Crimson Diamond, live with Julia and Dan. As always, Julia makes games and I make noise. So, yeah, I was just finishing talking about there was a huge storm here today by me. And a lot of trees down right on my block. My neighbors across the street are out of power. They just told somebody down the block they're not getting power back till Thursday. So it's a little nuts. Yeah. But we didn't lose power, thankfully. But I had all my equipment today shut off because I unplugged everything from the wall. I didn't want any shorts. I don't want any zaps or any kind of craziness. So just try to avoid all that stuff. So anyway, I hope everybody else is good and safe. And yeah, Julia, I think the request was a 3-hour stream of this, just Soundwave for 3 hours.
Are you gonna just transform and retransform him?
I wasn't even going to do that. I was just going to put this right up here. Oh, and the earrings. Nice.
You're just gonna
Tondagasa,
hold it like that
yes.
for 3 hours? If you could hold it like that in front of the camera for 3 hours, let's do it.
Okay,
Just
we'll
keep
see.
it out like exactly like that.
No, Jim plays games. I wish I did. I wish I did have the cassettes. I'm missing all of them. I can eject, but I can't eject any of the cassettes. So the eject button does work. But I do not have the cassettes. What you could do is you could buy the newer one, and I think the newer one may fit into this old one. I'm not too sure. Yeah, the earrings are a big hit. And here's the question, right?
Yes.
So if you move your head slightly to one direction or the other, so we can see
Okay.
Nancy's face behind you,
What? Oh
you can't tell if Nancy is wearing earrings. So
no.
I'm pretty sure that these earrings are being worn by Nancy in the game. Is there any scenes where you can see her ears?
No.
So there you go. These are
But
these are actual in-game items that you never see in the game. So there you go. Place the product. Exactly. We got to do that. And Tondagasa, by the way, I was in your stream the other night. I enjoyed it. You were doing, I think the game is called Ultra Core, which is like an unreleased Turrican style shooter for Sega Genesis from back in the day. Oh yeah, there you go. Jim says hidden Easter egg when she brushes back her hair one time. I like that, but then that means you have to animate a whole bunch of frames, right?
uh, but here I hate to let. I already told Dan this, and he's clearly disregarded all that information. because I told him, yeah, I don't think that Nancy would have earrings like this, because back in those days they wouldn't be made of polymer clay. They would be like real, expensive earrings. And Nancy is not that kind of girl. She's kind of grew up in a rougher part of town, and she's not a rich lady. So I
So
doubt
she
she would
wouldn't
have
have her
something like
ears pierced?
that. Yeah, she probably wouldn't, because like she wouldn't have jewelry really.
Any jewelry? Did they not have costume jewelry back in like the
Oh,
early part of the century?
I- it was
20th century?
Yeah, well, I think it's a bit early for that. They started coming out with like lucite and like plastics and stuff that they started to make jewelry out of, but it was a bit later on. And she wouldn't have the disposable income in the first place to buy it, even if it was that early.
Interesting. So you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. These earrings are likely not actually the same ones that were really worn by the real life Nancy Maple in
Mm,
1914.
thank you for
However,
clarifying.
it's tough because she's from a fictitious town in Canada.
No, no, no.
So,
Nancy's not. Nancy's from Toronto, downtown
excuse me,
Toronto.
the game takes place in a
Yes,
fictitious town in
yes,
Ontario, Northern
yes.
Ontario. How many did we decide how many miles it was from Crimson to where she was at the
No,
museum?
we did not. Oh crap! We did not. But it's far. Like she basically she goes into work in the morning and she gets there late at night, so it takes out many many hours.
So many, many hours, but
Many many
she's
hours.
on a train first. And a train traveled
She
at a reason
Yes.
even by modern standards a reasonable speed, right?
Yes, and then she also has to get into a car, and the car ride is another 3 or 4 hours.
But the cars back then, they didn't go too fast. I don't think they went faster than 20, 25 miles an hour, right?
Oh, so we do. Oh, do we want to actually like figure this out?
I mean, there's nerds and then there's me. So yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we should make this like a quiz for part of
We need to know like the
for
average
part of
speed
the
of that
show.
that REO touring wagon from 19 whatever.
We got a bunch of developers in here, right? Somebody has to
Mhm.
work with the mathematics and Unity and Unreal and all these things, right?
Well, I
Yeah.
can give you the vague area where Crimson is located.
Well, we want the exact distance though. That's too easy. We want this like if a train was traveling from Toronto at
No.
45 miles an hour due north, what's the distance, right? The game has a realism option where the intro takes the full length of time. Exactly. Can we triangulate from? You can use GPS or you can use cell tower triangulation. Yeah. So if you have a ping on Nancy's cell phone, then you should be able to tell roughly where Crimson is.
Oh yeah, I watch Forensic Files too. I know all about those cell phone towers.
Dave was checking into Unity to see if it has a math constant for 20's buggy speed. Maybe the train. Well, look, there's lost train dude, so he might be able to tell us
Yeah.
actually where it is. I don't know
Yes.
where he's lost. Yeah, so
Like it,
you have a rough
there is
idea.
Yes, there is a diamond mine called I think it's called the Victor Diamond Mine in northern Ontario in the James Bay Lowlands, and it would be around that area. So if you want to look up the vague area where Crimson, Ontario may have been, it is kind of right in the middle of where there actually is a diamond mine currently. So
In 1914, you had the REO touring wagon, which was one travel mode of travel, and you had the train. And how fast did it? If you Oh, so the lost train dude is not an actual train
yeah.
nut. He's not a Lionel train collector or something. I was wondering how fast did the average train travel in 1914? I assume it's pretty fast. 40 miles an hour, maybe 50 miles an hour. What's that translated into? 80 or 90 kilometers an hour? Although you just said Fahrenheit before, so I'm very surprised by that.
Well, when you're cooking and stuff, you use Fahrenheit
Oh,
mostly, I guess.
well, that just shows how bad of a cook that I am.
I actually cooked some asparagus wrong because I put in the Celsius temperature for the oven, but it was into the Fahrenheit, so I undercooked them badly.
Hmm. What do you say? Oh, my dad worked for the Lionel Train Company. There you go. So can we get him live on stream? Can we do a phone a friend? Is this like a game show? Is this like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Can I phone a friend, call your dad, Deluxe Tux, and ask him these questions? What kind of train? African or European? Well, I have no idea. You have to ask the historian here.
It's a steam locomotive.
A steam locomotive and an REO touring wagon.
Yes.
So we need to know the max speed of the REO touring wagon. And we need to know the average speed. Well, not even the max speed, the average speed, I guess. Because you'd assume there's zero traffic driving up to the middle of nowhere, which they are.
Yes. Yeah, but as Lost Train Dude said, we don't know how many stops there are being made on the way as well.
Well, where would they stop? The only place they'd be able to stop is either for what? Gas, which is probably not common.
Well,
Not a lot of
at that
people
time,
had
there were
cars.
small. There were small stations here and there, probably. Although I don't know. I don't know if it was a legit train route, actually.
What? Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Trains in the 20s could hit 100 miles an hour.
Oh, hey, Retro Rents Al.
Wow.
Wow, they
That's
went faster
interesting.
than they do today.
But I wonder, well, the time of year, you're in what? You're in fall-ish?
It's actually late
Summer? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that probably no issue with the weather being a factor at
No.
that point.
I'm
Snidely
in Google
Whiplash.
Maps. I can't believe we're still talking about this. I'm going to do a Google Maps, and I'm going to tell you how long it takes to get from Toronto, hold on, to Victor Diamond Mine.
The average speed is 75 miles an hour of a train. And
Oh.
that's... So we have to go back. We have to work backwards, right? I do like it, but was it Snidely Whiplash who did that all the time? I guess it was, right? Because he's the villain of Dudley
Yeah.
Do-Right, officer of the RCMP.
Yes. That's probably a lot of train delays. And I'm trying to Google how to drive to the Victor Diamond Mine, but you can't drive there from where in Toronto for whatever reason. I thought this would be stupid. But anyway, look up Victor Diamond Mine. It's in Kenora, Ontario, around Kenora. That's where it is. That's all you need to know. We can just keep talking about it and not get any work done. And get some work done.
I think we could. I think we should, as a matter of fact. Julia's dropping the hammer. Yeah, everybody says that I'm the dark and brooding one, but if one truly needs to know, neither of us really are. If one train were traveling west at 75 miles per hour and another goes east at 63 miles an hour, how many donuts can you eat in an hour? Jeez.
I went to art school to avoid these kinds of questions.
And then you got into game dev for what reason? Because now you have to be part of it. There's math and calculations all the time, right?
I didn't know. I just wave it away. There's no math in programming. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the arcade sequence where you drive the train.
And the flight simulator sequence and the part where you have to.
Sorry, let me fix everything here. Now this should make everything better. Right here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I know this is what everybody's here to see, so let's give them what they want. Since when do you guys get work done on the stream?
No, I know we don't. I mentioned to Dan I would like some riffs based on the theme because I want to have a audio cue for game progression. But I guess,
Hey, guess what? Thank you for the Soundwave close-ups. You're welcome.
I just lost the will to live. That's what happened right there. Yeah, Jim plays games as game developers. Yeah, you don't need to know math. You just randomly move around variables and operators until the code does what you want.
So it's like making music. You just randomly press notes until you get the right ones. Or like sculpture. You just chip away everything that doesn't look like what you want to make.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I'm good with that. I can use that logic. If you want to make a game engine, you've got some math to do, but only if you want to use an engine. There we go. Deluxe Tux, that's my style. That's how I roll.
Yeah, BS for a few hours, then Dan will toss off a few magical riffs in the last 4 minutes, what basically happened last time.
How do you know I wasn't putting all that together in my head? Okay, let's see.
I saw you talk up Nancy when I had to leave to get something last stream. You don't think I didn't see it?
I didn't say anything. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Sculpture doesn't have Control Z. You're right about that. Or more importantly, sometimes Control Shift Z. You know what that does?
Yes, it undoes the redo.
Yeah.
Undo.
It
Undoes the
redoes
undo.
the undo, undoes the redo.
Yeah, yep, yep.
Okay.
It double does the do.
I'm very confused, but I
Hmm.
do believe you. So what do you think? Should we jump? Don't question the creative process. Yeah, exactly. Should we jump? This is our last. This is still our death ditties. But what
Okay.
I was planning to do is make a new session for this because you wanted to call this. What would you call this? They're like theme riffs,
Hmm.
I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Because right now there's only one tone. Well, there's like we have the three successive chord sounds for point scoring, but point scoring is different from game progression. So I wanted there to be like a difference for people to get like a ding 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 or whatever, you know.
But it's kind of a combination between a point noise and more. But this is more of like a chapter progression or a important point or
Yeah, it's more of a, like for instance when in the demo when you have spoken to everyone and you can go to the dining room
right. So it's
because
not like
dinner's
picking
ready.
up the blue cup.
No, no. It's more like, well, now you've changed the state of you've now changed the state of the game. What are you eating?
Somebody brought me my wife brought me a milkshake.
Oh, nice. What flavor?
I think it's peanut butter cup.
Whoa.
She's actually sitting down here watching TV tonight, which is unusual. Whoops, I just crashed my whole thing.
You crash your whole thing.
Yep.
Jim plays games says Death City is the name of his new hair metal band, and I think it's
Sweet.
a fantastic. All your tracks are going to be 5 seconds long, and it's going to be like 800 800 tracks on your album.
Retro Rantel, I like it. Look in the icebox. Nothing here but a couple frozen Miss Astro chicken legs. Like the elevator music, M on Raw. So I actually just got a copy of that game.
Oh really? Oh, that music is so good. Maybe it's my favorite soundtrack.
No, that's not your favorite soundtrack.
No, no, I think it is now because I
No.
don't want to hear any more guff. It totally
I
is.
finally
Forget
got a
anything I ever
copy of
said. I
this.
changed my mind. I'm allowed to change my mind.
But not for that reason. There we go. See, Slat
Nice.
Studios got it. But this is actually, it needs to be re-glued.
Ah.
Unfortunately, the cover has come unglued, but everything inside is good.
Bill Coon said he once went to a mini Ren Fest and a musician was stage named Bad Beth, and the album she had for sale was Bad Beth and Beyond.
Bad Beth. Isn't that Dog the Bounty Hunter's wife or ex-wife? She passed away, I think.
I
She
don't
was
know
cool.
any of these things.
Import session data. Oh, and actually, I also had another couple of things I wanted to share. One, I was hoping to share pictures of a trip that I had to Lebanon a couple of years ago because I
Yes.
don't know, I'm assuming people have seen what insanity went on there today. I don't even know what really happened, and I don't think anybody really knows. But yeah, I mean, I was hoping to show some pictures because I have some nice pictures of the port area there
Hmm.
from my hotel, which is a little bit of a distance, but you could kind of see everything there. I don't know. So let's see. Where was it? Our theme. It's themes riffs is what I have open, but I need to import. I think the Death Ditty stuff. Let's just import these. Perfect.
A Slut Studio asks what music do I listen to during game dev? When I'm doing some coding stuff where I really have to focus hard to make sure I don't break everything, I'm actually listening to the Roland MD32 version of the Colonel's Bequest and Dagger of Amon Ra back to back.
Well,
Is
there
what
we
I'll do.
go.
Yep.
So you know what sucks about doing music is you can't listen to music in the background while you're doing your own music. Well, you could. You could try. Good luck.
Well, you could do ambient sound actually. I had that conversation with another musician recently. You could kind of have like the bridge noise from the Enterprise as kind of your ambient.
Ugh, that would drive you nuts. You know, the toughest thing is if you're doing music all day and you have, especially if you have headphones on, you're sending so much sound so close to your ear in
Hmm.
all the time that you'll
Hmm.
get ringing in your ears from doing that. And you have to be
I
really
see.
careful. You have to be really, really careful.
I see. Yeah, see, Jim plays games like that. The Enterprise, the engine, the warp nacelles too. You can get that
Okay,
really
and
low
that's fair. So
pulse.
I want you guys to listen to that for 40 hours a week and then tell me that same sentence again. And if you do, I'll believe you.
The Slot Studio. Oh my gosh, the Dagger from Amon Ra soundtrack. Fantastic. So good. Yes, the. What do we got here? Yeah, Jim says that Jordy had to listen to it all the time at work, and he had no problem.
That's why he ended up reading books for a living. So what part of the theme are you thinking? Because I'm thinking about, like, maybe we could use different parts depending on
Right.
how many, let's say in the demo, let's refer to the
Mhm.
demo since we know we can't get ourselves in trouble. How many different variations of this little, what are we calling it?
Riff.
Theme riff
Hmm.
would we have in the demo? Or would we just use one a couple of times?
I figured just use one a couple times. I think there are 3 times you would hear it in the demo. Maybe
Okay.
2
Let's pick one that's not
or
really
3.
too much of a spoiler. After you've talked to everybody, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
After you
not a big
well,
deal because if you play the demo, basically one of the first things the notebook will tell you is to talk to everybody, or the
yes,
tutorial intro
yep,
will tell you to talk to everybody.
yes,
So, and then after you talk to everybody, you're going to have some kind of little sound that says, okay, now you can progress, or it's a
yes,
progression point, right?
yes. There's a message on the screen that says Jack. You can hear Jack call for dinner, and you can
Right.
go to the dining room. So, yeah.
And can you explain that a little bit in like terms of AGS, like in game development, I guess? How does that work? Like, how do you design something like that?
Okay, well, yeah, it's a flag. So what you do is every time you have the player talks to one of the characters, there's a flag that has like a certain number of requirements that you need to meet for the flag to be tripped. And so let's say I talk to Margot, the first person I talk to, it'll check, did you talk to everybody else? And if you talk to everyone else and then Margot, then it'll trip that flag and say, okay, you get that message that says Jack calls for dinner, dinner's ready.
And it doesn't matter where or who you talk to the order, at least in this particular flag, doesn't
Yes.
matter.
Yeah, the order does not matter. You can do any of them as long as you get them all done. So every time you talk to someone, it does that check. At least, well, in the first act,
So
does
let's
that.
say we go to talk to Evan last,
Yes.
and it would still trigger the same message
Yes. So
unless
in
we
fact,
talk to Jack last.
exactly, I did change it for if you talk to Jack last, you won't get the message that says you hear Jack calling dinner's ready. He will actually, it will check to see if you're in the kitchen, and if you are, Jack will just tell you, oh, by the way, dinner's ready. When you're ready, go into the dining room. Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe start dinner function.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this is stuff that I don't really know about. So what if there's two different ways you could approach this, at least what I'm thinking. And we can ask the chat too. But here's my initial thought on this. So it's going to be the same rough part every time. So we have
Yep.
two options. We could change the part slightly each time. That's one option. The other option I'm thinking of is we could use different instruments but play the same thing. Or you could do a mixture of both, use different instruments and change the part slightly. But I think
Mhm.
if you do that, you're going to confuse the player a little bit.
Mhm.
So my suggestion, my initial feeling is that without implementing it into the game and seeing it, my initial feeling is that the situation might be to keep the riff identical
Mhm.
and maybe change the sound or just leave it as one sound. I like the same instruments, different parts. Now that's an interesting one because you have to you're thinking about this is like player information, right?
Mm.
Is that what you would call this in the game design world? I think
Yeah, I suppose.
player
I don't know any
information.
technical terms, and I learned that pretty quick when I was watching, when I sat in on a class. I don't know any of the language.
I'm starting to try to get a few of them. I'm trying to get. I get schooled every day. Helping out with the Empire of Sin
Hmm.
testing phases, and I'm getting schooled on various pieces of design. And the combat designer had given me some cool little tips and tricks here, and he was mentioning, and I have to kind of, I don't know if I have to pretend like I know what I'm doing, but I have to pretend like I know what he says or look it up. I'm like, okay, yeah. Click,
Hmm. Hmm.
type in and says, Okay, that's what they mean. Okay, cool. So
Yep.
it's a learning experience for sure. Um, okay, I like the same instruments, different parts. How often this? So think about this. The demo takes roughly an hour ish.
Yep.
So let's say that you're going to hear this every 20 minutes or so.
Hmm.
It's not. It's just averaging. If you're going to hear it every 20 minutes or so, you're probably not going to be used to it even in the first act. Let's say you just bought the game and the game's out. It's whatever. It's the day after release day, or the day of release day. Somebody's just bought the game. How much do they have to hear that same riff before they get it in their head that that's what it is? Right? The first time they hear it, unless they've played the demo, they're not going to know.
Hmm.
So the other question is, do we just change the riff per act instead of changing the
Yeah.
riff per time in each act? So if
Hmm.
there's 7 acts as of now,
Yes. Seven
so
chapters. Yep.
7 chapters, we could say that there would be 7 different instruments and the same. So that's actually what that was your suggestion, Deluxe Tux, right? The same instruments, different parts. Oh, so no.
Oh yeah, so that's another consideration Davor brings up. Is it going to be like Colonel's Bequest, where there's an hour act riff and several quarter past riffs? So what I would like is yeah. So for the sub progression in one chapter, like there's going to be 3 points in the demo, but when you go into chapter two, it would be cool to have a little thing that plays when you get to the next chapter as well.
Right. And that would be the theme riff as well?
It could be a theme riff that is. So what we could do is we could have one theme riff that'll just be like those sub progression bits within chapters, and it's the same through the whole game. And then we have a different theme riff that is a bit longer that is for chapters. So like in Dagger of Amon Ra, they do that. So every chapter there's a bit of a like a whatever, maybe 15 seconds of music as it transitions to the next chapter or something.
Did you ever play where in the any of the terms is Carmen San Diego?
Yep, I played Where in the World and Where is in Time.
So when you go to a new place or go to a new
Yes.
time and you go into the first, like it'll say the bank or whatever, and you walk up there and then you'll hear a sound because you're on the right track. Or if you don't hear any
Right.
sound, you're like, "Oh."
Hmm. Hmm.
I think that's kind of what we want to achieve, right? That same kind of feeling like you're on the right track or you're doing something good. We want to this is a reward for the player.
Yes.
Okay. This is interesting. Different instruments, same parts, or very slight variation. That's my thought, DJ Mega Hammer. But it's to be honest, it's hard to tell outside of the context of the game, at least for me. Maybe that's just because I'm not super experienced in doing these things, but I don't know. Ever play Monkey Island 2? Does a similar character splash screen music riff? Yep, that's right. Because what's the first chapter is the Largo embargo or something
Hmm.
like that.
Hmm.
And there's a little. What kind of music is that they play in Monkey Island? What's the style of music?
Calypso, adult contemporary, alt rock,
Yacht rock?
alt rock, or
Wuss
whatever they
rock?
alternative.
No,
What do
I
they
don't
call
think
it?
so.
It's on the tip of my tongue. Is it like
Yeah, so
my favorite
theme.
soundtrack is Dagger of Amon Ra.
It looks like you're reading from a card right now. You read that. You don't believe it. We're going to send this video to the body language experts on YouTube and see what they have to say about that. So I want to read this chat because there's some good information here.
Yes, there is. Yes.
And Davor says that would be a cool reason to add voices. Like Quest for Glory 4, that kind of narrator style thing. I don't know. More like it
Well,
transitions to copyright protection. Yeah.
I will say so. There is a hidden score system, and depending on how well you do, you get a message at the end of the chapter that says, just like in Dagger of Amon Ra, it says, "Oh, you're doing awesome. And keep up the good work," or maybe you should look into things a bit more. That type of thing. So we could have different variations based on the level of success you achieve, but I don't. I mean, we don't have to go there right now. I just want the basic stuff
Yeah.
set down.
The theme has an A and a B, right? Yes, it does. And it actually, I was thinking that it has a C section too, but that's not been implemented. I never finished writing it, but in one of the, if you watch one of the previous ones where we talk about the theme briefly, I think you can hear the unfinished C section that's in there. Whether it'll make it into the game or not, I don't know. It might just not make sense because where my head was to really go left, and it might not work. But theme, so I was thinking something from the A part and something from the B part. Interesting. Let's see. Yeah, the Largo Legrand theme is kind of jazzy. Yep. Monkey Island makes another appearance in stream, sadly. Calypso, pipe flutes, Jimmy Buffett riffs, yes. Yep, the iMuse system. Yep, cool. I remember that they would argue that people didn't really care for iMuse, but I can't. iMuse, I mean, that's basically the the birth of what do they call it? Not interactive music. I mean, that was the word they were using, but they call it adaptive music. So it adapts to what you're doing as you're playing. Could you go over the concept again, please? The audio musical feedback for making progress in the game and exactly right. So basically, these are major points in a chapter. That's terrible.
I don't know this song.
Wasted Away again.
No. I'm not a Parrot Head, whatever that is.
Jimmy
Pretty sure.
Buffett fan.
Oh,
They're
no.
huge here in Long Island. This big Jimmy Buffett. He's actually really cool. He flies into the gig that he does by my house at Jones Beach. He literally flies a
cool.
seaplane and lands it right there because it's on the water.
Aw,
Pulls
that is
up to the
cool.
thing, walks backstage, does the show, and flies off at the end. It's pretty cool.
That's amazing.
Sorry, Retro. But it's time. I mean, say it's 9:30. You can have a drink. I assume. I hope you're over 21. I assume you are. But yeah, so the concept is basically, I was trying to differentiate between a noise, like a sound where you get a point in an adventure game where there's some kind of cue that you've gotten a point, which is a staple of Sierra games. It's not always a staple of LucasArts games. In fact, I think it's not used at all. I don't think there are point noises. Are there?
I can't think of any.
Well, Jim Plays Games says, do LucasArts games have points? So they do, depending on which one you're playing. I know Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade has like 2 different points. It's like IQ points and chapter points or something like that. But they don't use sounds to know, like there's no sounds to know if you're succeeding or not succeeding. Whereas in a King's Quest game, you pick something up and it's, or whatever. Indie quotient. Yeah, there we go. Both of them had the same score system, I assume, Bill. I don't really know the second one as well. I know the Last Crusade pretty well. Ben Jordan games have the best sounds. I haven't played them. Those are all Francisco's pre-commercial releases, right?
Yeah, and they're free on his site.
Yep.
So absolutely. I've played all of them, and it's really, really cool to see his development over the years. It's just really inspiring.
Well, isn't it the art too? The art's like gone leaps and bounds.
Yes, it's amazing. It really is.
That's cool. Well, he's an inspiring dude anyway.
Yes.
Irreverent Pixel says Indie Forward play the Indie Triumph music when you solve some puzzles. Yes. So it does that, I think, also in Last Crusade. Jeez, I play that.
He's a professional, folks. You see,
Yeah.
Dan is playing it intentionally poorly, so we don't get a copyright claim. So
They
thank you,
won't be
Dan,
able to
for being
figure
so
out what that
bad.
is. Don't worry. I had to tell you. Yeah, I couldn't figure out how they were calculated myself either.
The IQ points
Yeah.
for Amy? Yeah.
But basically, there's two different types of points we're looking at right now. One is the
Yes.
just like you pick up the right item, you get a little click, ding, whatever it is, and then another one is like a more significant noise that tells you you've advanced something in the game.
Yes.
Right. You took an IQ
And
test
then
and scored a perfect 100.
and then a more significanter noise that when you go from chapter 1 to chapter 2.
More significanter.
Yes.
I like that word. Yeah. So, okay. So then, but that one doesn't necessarily have to all be the same, I don't think, because you're going to see some kind of cutscene, and then you'll see the chapter 2 displayed on the screen. Like if you've played the demo, the first thing that comes up when you get into the actual gameplay, it says chapter 1 introductions, right?
Yes.
So you'll see something like that. So it'll be, yeah, it's kind of a stinger. It's kind of a stinger, I guess. That's probably the best way to talk about it.
See the terms. I don't know the terms.
Well, the stinger I think of is more like film scoring, but it's the same thing in games, I think. Depends on who the audio director is and how they're talking about it. Yeah, but it's not a small stinger. It's not like a coin click or whatever. It's something to mark that you've advanced the game. So do we have our current point noises handy, by the way? Do you have those any chance, or do I need to find them?
You're gonna need to, because I
You
can't when I share screen. You don't hear the audio.
Let's listen to those briefly if we can, just to give ourselves like a baseline of where we're at.
Awesome. Do you need time to look for them, or do you have
No,
them?
they should come up pretty quick. Let's see.
Because I do have
point sounds.
stuff to show
Here
at
we
some
go.
point.
Well, we'll do that in a sec.
Yeah. Okay.
There's one.
Yes.
There's one. There's one.
Mm-hmm.
And, we may change those, but those are what we have roughly for the time being.
And they totally work.
Yeah. They're a little like, here's a point. So I feel like maybe we need to change the instrument further from where the theme is already.
Okay.
But then play the theme somehow. So let's find a weird sound. So this is the fun of sound browsing. Like in Pro Tools, using the stock patches in the MT32, this is what I look at, which means nothing to you and probably means nothing to me too, because I can't tell what sound that is based off a number. Well, there you go. That's what that one. Something like that would be cool, right?
I'd like it to be like a bit triumphant, like, oh, look, you're getting somewhere.
How about that? Or you mean the sound or the part? Probably the sound.
Yeah, I want the sound to be like, congratulate, you're doing the thing, you're progressing.
That's a little too cheesy, right?
Yeah. Like Link got an item.
Yeah, it's more significant.
Wow.
That's what.
It's like it sounds like really harsh and tinny.
It's the MT32. Oh yeah.
Oh man.
That's not so bad.
It's not bad.
Because I don't know how much further I can get. Like, if you want it to be really short, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. That's our best so far. So let's put this down. Patch 94.
Does it need to be something like, I don't know, lighter or something?
That's possible. I just want to go through and give myself options. And not forget what we did.
Yes.
In fact, let me play that in and record it. Wrong sound, but this is why modern DAWs are nice. Okay, that's what we have so far. We'll leave that muted for now. For a moment, sounded like finger harp. Yeah, there's some interesting sounds in the MT32. Thinking out loud. In that case, I think you could safely create variations on the main theme without losing the audience, as long as it's still recognizable enough. You could have fun with minor versus major twists. By that I mean tonality, depending on the plot, allowing for real suspense if needed. So, do you know what he's talking about there, Julia? Does that make sense to everybody that's not a music nerd like myself and DJ Mega Hammer? Because what he's talking about is he's just saying that in this case we have it major. We could change it to minor, which gives it kind of a different thing.
Yep.
So interestingly enough, the theme, if you listen to it, has both those tonalities in the various parts. So the first opening line is E minor. But the B section is actually the same thing in major. Right? So. So I'm going, but I don't use the relative major, I use a C. So the song is in E minor, or G major, whichever you prefer. Yeah, so you could do all kinds of things. I'm not mad at that idea of the major and minor. The question is the plot points. So can we talk about the first? I don't know if it's the first major point, the dinner call. What is that, the first or is that the last?
That's the last.
That's the first of the major points in the demo. Okay, so. That one is kind of neutral, right? So you probably would leave it major. If that's what we, other sound, if that's what we decide to use.
Or I mean, I was thinking, the part that I was thinking for the riff was the part that goes ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good. That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, something like I wanted it to go, yeah.
What's up, Edenwaith? I like your comment. Come here expecting some pixel art or perhaps Dan playing an epic solo. Here we are discussing minor versus major variants. So here we are. I mean, hi. What's up?
You never know what you're going to get.
I actually really like your idea.
Thank you, Dan.
Oh, that's a really good idea. This is why it's effective oftentimes to work in teams. And let's just put a music education point in real quick. Yeah, the Rocky thing.
Also, the cursor's on my head.
Just kidding. And I put it right on your nose. There we go. Now it's in the perfect place. Now we'll move it. The reason I like working in teams is because the best idea wins. I always say this to my students if we're producing music. The best idea wins, meaning if the dog barks and that's the best idea, that is going in the song, period. Like, it doesn't matter who came. The janitor just walked in the school and says, hey, guys, blah, blah, blah. And he comes up with the right idea. That's it. That's it. So the best idea wins. So it doesn't matter if Julia says she has no music experience or not. I like her idea. I think it's the best so far. That's what it is. That's pretty cool. There we have that. The merit of an idea does not depend on the source of the idea. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. That's exactly what it is. That's a way less wordy and more concise way to say what I was just taking up most of your night speaking about.
As Dan would say, I don't care if the dog barks.
That's right. I mean, I care. Obviously, you should feed him or take him out, whatever. But, you know.
But if the dog had the best idea, then yeah. After you take him out,
Somebody's got to clip that. So the merit of an idea does not depend on the source of the idea. Great quote, Jim. That's a quote by Jim Plays Games. And I assume he plays games on stream. I don't actually know, but I'll have to check it out and see, because that's a great quote. So it deserves to be clipped. Somebody clip that. Go ahead. Can we get a dog bark in the score? We have dog barking sounds that we've taken. I don't know if there's a part that will certainly won't be in the score, but it may be in the game at some point. I don't even have a dog. That's the best part. Maybe it's in a different key.
I like that a bit better. I like that.
That's the same key.
Yeah, I like that.
Just listen to all of them and see what you like best.
Okay. That's nice. Meh. Yeah, I like that. Too high. It's pretty nice.
So far, I think the best one is drop the last two notes.
It's good too. Yep.
Either or. Why don't we record that one? Let's mute this. Go back to the beginning. Let's do this here.
Very nice.
You know what it reminds me of? The MT32 for whatever reason. Did you ever play Civilization for Windows 3.1?
Nope.
Has a lot of sounds. There's actually a lot of wave audio files that can just be played back, but there's limited music because it took up a lot of space, and they're highly compressed. But I think a lot of them are using something like the Korg sound modules or the Roland MT32 or whatever. On the Amiga, it might be. I'm not too sure. I would hesitate to say it is, because Amiga did a lot of different things with their music because they could. Will you be quantizing these? Probably not. And do you know what quantizing means? So it just means, like, if I was putting it on a click track, it would lock it up. For these, I don't think you have to. I think you just have to have the right feel. I mean, I
don't know what that means. What does lock it up mean?
The best way to describe it is this. If we turn on the click track, you'll hear it. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's on the click. And then I could quantize it. So if I played it, click track is a metronome, same thing. Yep. Could handle non-quantized tracks. Oh, they definitely could. Yeah, they absolutely could. The main thing is you just have to implement it properly. But so when you play this game, you're not actually going to get MT32 information spit out. You're going to get the MT32 being used as a sound source, but there are OGG files that are going into the game, which is a compressed audio format that sounds better than an MP3, but saves more space than using an uncompressed format like WAV or something. So we're going to try to keep the game's size down to a reasonable size that would make sense for, a game of 1989, even though it's going to be way bigger than a game of 1989, right?
Yeah.
But we're still going to try to keep it down.
Yeah.
OGG is better than MP3. Okay, so maybe I used the wrong word. Yeah, that could be shipped on 168-inch floppies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if some of it's quantized, but this particular part is non-quantized. Some of the theme is definitely quantized. I'm not sure that it all is. OGG is better than MP3. I think I actually can't answer that properly. You'd have to like do some research on it. The
Um,
quote unquote best is something that would be lossless compression, like an Apple or a FLAC.
well, from the developer standpoint for Adventure Game Studio, one of the reasons OGG is better than MP3 is if you want to have MP3s in your game, you have to pay licensing fees for the MP3 player or whatever it is.
Yes, probably the encoder.
Yeah, whatever the thing is that makes the thing play, you need to deal with that. And with OGGs, you don't have to. So that's kind of
Okay.
my reasoning.
So
Yeah.
OGG would be like an open source format,
Yes. Yeah.
which is cool. And
Yeah.
and it may take less energy to decode or encode, whatever. I guess it's decoding an MP3 than or less power. I don't know what the minimum requirements for this game are, but they're probably pretty low, like exceptionally lower than anything. You know,
Yeah, well, I thought you were gonna try to play the demo on your Windows 98 machine or
I want to
Windows.
do that. I want to try to play it on my 98 machine.
Yeah.
The question is, what I have as a 98 machine is like a top of the line 98 machine, but I probably
Okay.
could try putting 3.1 or 98 on my underpowered. Oh no, I have an underpowered 98 machine. You have a Pentium 166 we could try it out on. Let's see. Can you really hear the difference between lossless and high bitrate MP3? Yes. Yes, absolutely. But the question is, how are you playing back? This gets into a really deep and maybe boring question, but it's how good are your converters? So I have really good converters. I have a home studio that I'm using to compose for video games and other, mostly before this, it was with artists, some music for artists and stuff, and you've heard some of it. But yeah, there's a big difference. And it's not just the good speakers and headphones, it's really the converters. So what I mean by converters is like if you have a DAC, digital to analog converter specifically, or do you have click and design custom? Hey, wait a second. Isn't that the thing that you use to put labels on CDs?
Yep.
Yes, CD label design software. Nice.
So we can do that, if we want to.
Yeah. But the biggest thing is the converters. Jim plays games, which is a weird thing. But if you go like if you're a gamer, all the gamers will recommend you buy a DAC to listen to your music that you don't come directly out of your or not your music to listen to your games. That you don't come directly out of the motherboard. That you get a DAC that's a separate box, plugs in via USB or whatever. And then you plug your headphones into that, and the ohms are important. Like they even recommend these headphones, which are studio headphones, for gaming. I think a lot of the streamers and gamers like them. I don't particularly care about it that much because mine's more for creation as opposed to consumption. But I would think that would matter, especially if you're streaming a lot, Jim. It'll matter to you if you buy a DAC, and I think the DACs you can buy they start around $100. It's kind of like a sound card, except it only puts out sound. It doesn't take any input, right? Because it's only converting the digital to the analog, which is what you can hear. We can't hear digital sound, obviously. I have an audio setup that would probably disgust you. No, it's cool. It's totally cool. I mean, listen, I spent hundreds and hundreds, well, thousands of dollars, but this was before I was ever even thinking about playing games or streaming. It was just because that's what I needed to do the work that I was doing. So you generally don't hear that much of a difference between formats. Getting a HomePod is the best improvement I've heard for audio. What's I don't even know what a HomePod is. Digital audio tapes that use the higher bit rate than CDs. Interesting. So the highest quality you could get, this is why people loved Laserdiscs back in the day because they used uncompressed audio, but that's why they were giant. They took up a lot of space. The audio took up a lot of space. Whereas when DVD came out, they were using this compression and in this compressed format. What's going off? I hear an alarm. Beeping. Wild. Anyway. I don't know. Something's weird. The HomePod is the Apple smart speaker. Interesting. Yeah, so Laserdiscs, they weren't high quality video, but they were high quality uncompressed audio, whereas a DVD had better quality video, but lesser quality audio because they compressed a lot of times because you were getting 5.1 surround and things like that. And then there was super audio CDs, which if you're familiar with those are also really like expensive and hard to find. The CDs themselves and then also the player. So it's pretty crazy. Well, it's not an alarm. It's just a beeping. Oh, somebody left the fridge open. Oh, there we go. So yeah. Anyway, that's it gets deeper. It gets crazier. There's a lot of nonsense about it, and unfortunately on YouTube there's some great information and some equally greatly presented horrible information. And as somebody who doesn't necessarily know what's what, it would be impossible to discern between the two. No, you're not really derailing things. I think it's important to know. Well, I do. That's because I'm an audio idiot, but I think it's important to know. A refrigerator that gives an alarm if it's left open. That's a great idea. Well, mine apparently was doing that because from all the way downstairs I could hear beep, beep in my ear and bugging me. So hopefully that situation's been remedied. Compare it to a graphics example. Yeah, sort of. I just think the style of music, like if you go back and listen to MT32 music, there's a lot of errors kind of built in. And there's like the hanging note bug on the MT32, which is a real popular thing. And then there's like later games don't work very well with the first revision MT32. Earlier games don't work with the later revision MT32, excuse me. So yeah, it gets pretty crazy. So anyway, yeah, long process, but I think it's important stuff. To me, it's important anyway. So let's see. We got a few variations. Let's just listen to what we have. Lost Train Dude, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Awesome.
Yep. Let me turn this click track off. We do not want this. Yeah, it's not even, Mousemus, it's not the timing of the MIDI files. It's more that you can't accurately reproduce the timing because the clock sources were not good. You're using a crystal that vibrates, at least as I remember, the quartz crystal timer. It was weird. But the timing chips were not good. And that's another reason a DAC will give you better quality audio. Because it basically, they have clock sources in them. It's very complex. But the better clock source, the better sound. MIDI is not the most deadly accurate sound you can get. It's pretty accurate to the average person, but if you stack up enough MIDI files, you're going to start seeing problems. That's cool. That's also cool. I think we have to choose one of them. I don't think we can use multiples. We can use different instruments.
I like that too. That was nice.
I like all three of those. I think we pick one of them. And I think we could change the sound. I don't mind changing the sound, but I think if we used different parts, we're going to confuse ourselves and the players.
Mm-hmm.
So let's add one more. We don't want that sound.
No.
I want some kind of like belly. Not quite. Not quite. That's not good.
That would be good. Yeah, that's ingenious.
Space Quest 3.
Yes.
That's not bad though.
That's
What's
beautiful.
up, Billy Swank? Christmassy.
I love that actually. It's beautiful.
And listen, we could do a minor variant, like DJ Megahammer was saying. play it right.
Yeah, that's also. I can see where other places where that could work for sure.
Quacking duck music. We could change the octaves too, but I think the bottom line is we have to stick with the same riff, either minor or major. So I think it might be what you said, the part you said, and then dropping the last two notes. I think it was Slat Studio who said that. Let's give credit where credit's due. Do. That's pretty cool. So let's record that one too. Is that too fast?
I don't think it's too fast, but I don't. It doesn't sound as triumphant as the other ones.
No, it shouldn't. It should. This is going to be when. Well, it would if I played it with major. So check this out. Ay.
Yep.
Then it'll sound a little more triumphant. So let's listen here. Let's get rid of this and let's just play the two we have. This is the minor variation. Or and you could lower the octaves. Let's lower the octaves too. Let's do this. Oops. Another option. Hidden behind your head, sorry. And then we have, that's the minor variation. Major variation. So, or this. To be honest with you, I think all four are possible. You can lower the octave. That doesn't really change the sound. You'll still get it. You can change it from minor to major, which is cool. Which was DJ Mega Hammer idea, which is cool. And I think you can change the sound. You want to hear it on a different sound? Sounds terrible on that. I got to replay it. Yeah, I'm going to have to replay it there if we use a different sound. Because the sound itself doesn't sustain like the other one.
I do like that a lot.
So let's do it. Let me just play them in real quick. Yeah, I like those.
Those are great.
So we have that. And I played two legato there. I got to change that. Good. You think so, Slat Studio? I think it does. I think I played two legato. Does anybody know what that means?
Nope.
It doesn't have anything to do with a cat. Basically, legato means the notes are connected.
Okay.
Or staccato would be the opposite of legato, which means they're detached. Right?
Right.
Arpeggios.
It's great. It's great.
Now, I think next we'll do polychords.
Oh, here we go.
No, I'm just kidding. Here we go. Julia's just expecting me to derail things at this point. I'm good at it, but, you know, I'm not trying to do it all the time. Most of the time. Ouch. I probably will use a polychord at some place and at some point in the game. The thing that's
Yeah.
tough is you have all these cool ideas. So let's say this is a good opportunity for anybody who wants to be either a composer or is working with a composer to have music done for their project, whatever it is, game, movie, TV, it doesn't matter. And the importance is how it fits and how I am doing something that fits, which I always talk about the immersion being really important. But I don't want to, what's the best way to say it? I don't want to force myself into the soundtrack all the time,
Mm.
right? I want to make it make sense and have it work for the game or for the movie or for the TV show, as opposed to, I think this is cool or I like the way this feels when I play it. That might be the case, but it has no place in the game, right? So I want to make sure that it fits. I want to make sure that it has a place there. And if I have a moment to interject myself, I'll take it. But I want to make sure those moments are, what's the best way to put it? Not few and far between, but they're only there so that you really notice it, right? That's a bad way to say it. They're not there so they remove you from the immersion. You might notice it, but it does not remove you from the immersion of the game or the movie or the TV show or the whatever documentary, whatever you're working on, right? We want to be really concentrating on the immersion all the time. That's like the whole goal. Have the immersion be number one, I think. You think that's fair? Would that be the goal for the player to have the immersion? Unless you're trying to break the third wall, which we're not.
No, no, we're not.
Sierra games do it sometimes, right? A
Yeah,
few
well,
times.
especially we're in the endings that they do.
Right.
But yeah, we're not going there.
Right. So I think we're in a good place here. Do you want to try another few sounds? Is there any other ideas you have?
I like I like the nice little trumpet. I like the Space Questy one, and I like I like the ones we have right now. I mean, we could always look at other sounds.
Sure. So let's save what we've got. And I'm going to put this one as inactive because we kind of like it, but we kind of like the other ones better. And I'm going to mute these parts so that we know when we come back to this, we have a couple of theme riffs. And if we're at this point, maybe we could do a little share that you said you were going to do a cool art
Yes.
stream share. So why don't we do that?
Yeah, sure. So let me do my screen share. Hold on, let me get this up. So these, I actually got a bunch of music-related images, Dan. So I thought it might be fun for you if you could guess the subject or the
Uh-oh.
topic. Or see, it's the ball is in my court now. Let's see if I can get this screen share. Okay.
I like to be able to put other people on the spot,
Yeah,
not
exactly.
vice versa.
Okay. I don't know why it says go live with this as part of it. I don't
It
know
looks
what
fine.
that
We can
means.
see a lady in a burning house.
Okay, so do you have any idea of what story this is talking about? Like looking at all the aspects of the picture, can you guess the subject?
The subject, meaning like what the song
Well,
is about or what the art is
what the
about?
song is about, or who the musician is that this is about?
There's a couple options. The one I would think of immediately because it's a guy with a guitar
Hmm.
and a woman in the house is burning is Slow Dancing in a Burning Room by John Mayer. That
Interesting.
immediately comes to mind. Burning down the house is kind of makes sense, but it doesn't make sense because I'm trying to place the woman.
This relates to a very famous older story like that was supposed to have happened.
Interesting. No, I don't have I have no idea.
It has to do with jazz, I think.
Well, here's another. Let's take more into account. I don't think it is snow in the picture, which is a little interesting. But we're in the south, I would think, in a floodplain because the house is on stilts. Am I right about that?
Mm-hmm.
So we're in the south somewhere. We've got a guitar player.
Yes. There's a very famous story about something that was on fire, and the guy he takes something from the fire, and he takes what?
It's not
And this was
It's
supposed.
not This Girl Is on Fire by Alicia Keys.
No.
because that's removing the latter half of the lower half of the picture. Um, I don't know. I think you got me.
It's about a man who was playing, I think, in a bar, and the place sets on fire. The thing he takes out is his guitar.
Oh, and leaves this woman.
Well,
I
no, the
don't know the
woman is
song.
not really a woman. It's a symbol of, because he gave the guitar a name.
Oh, BB King. That
Hmm.
must be Lucille.
Yes.
I didn't know the story. I didn't know that was the story.
Oh,
That's awesome. That's
interesting.
amazing.
I'm amazed that I knew something about music that you did not know.
The history and the little tidbit stories and stuff,
Hmm.
especially the ones that have been exaggerated for literary purposes, I won't
Yes.
know a lot of them, to be honest. This is fine.
Well, I didn't really know this story until I had to do these. So this is
Is
from a
this
set
your
of
image?
images. What's that?
This is one of your artworks?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. That's fantastic. That's so
Oh,
much.
thank
That's
you.
even better.
Yeah, this is what I'm showing. I'm showing art that I did.
That's great. Oh, you shouldn't have told me that. I would have been surprised
Oh,
every picture.
okay. Well, yeah. So what I did was I did a series of illustrations for this guy for his personal project that had to do with music and poetry. And so when he gave me the poems, I would have to do a lot of research because I didn't know anything about, the people and the musicians he's referring to.
Was
So
it
I
good
did a
poetry or
lot of
was it
research.
bad poetry?
I'm not going to say this. He was a client.
Gotcha. 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 Fair.
So yeah. So
Totally fair.
yeah. Yes. So yeah, I did a lot of research about each of these stories, like visual research, and like to get the visuals down and all this stuff. So I think actually the bar that was to have started on fire was in, I don't remember where it was now, but I must have had a reason to make it like this. It was so long ago.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I assume it's in the South. Snow is odd,
Yeah, I
but
don't know why I did that. Maybe that was a stylistic thing. I don't know.
in a floodplain, I guess there's places where you'd get snow. Maybe it's just on a beach. Like,
I don't.
do you get snow in like in the Outer Banks, like Carolinas and stuff? I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
He might have been further south, BB King, I am not sure about that. Maybe one of our
Yes, please.
fantastic chat would know the
Yes.
answer to that or can Google it for us.
So that's that one, and
Great.
we're gonna take it on to the next one. We'll see if you. I mean, some of these. Okay, some of these are more like portraits of the musicians, and these might be difficult because I'm not really that good at drawing portraits. But
Okay.
we'll see if you can recognize any of these. Okay, here we go. Next.
Cardi B. Oh, sorry. No, not Cardi. The Red Hot Chili Peppers.
So how can you tell that that is what it is?
Well, I just recognize the guys. I see
That's amazing.
Flea. I see Will Ferrell with the hat.
Yep.
Chad Smith, aka, and Anthony Kiedis. I actually think is this guy, right? I don't know his tattoos, and then I'm not sure who the other cat is. One of the guitar players,
Yeah, one of the guys I don't think is
probably
in
in
the
the band.
band anymore, but was in it at the time of whatever. That.
Yeah, and where it is in Halloween, I'm not sure what the other references are. I guess it's
Yeah, there's a lot of references to their albums or
gotcha.
tracks, or I forget why I did it this way, but again, I did a lot of. You can see there's even like some Red Hot Chili Peppers, like on a Christmas light on the
Yeah,
top,
Halloween
that kind of
light,
thing.
Christmas light.
Yeah,
Tondagasa calls him Will Ferrell too. Yeah, because dude, it's Will Ferrell. After you saw the Jimmy Fallon, how do you go back?
yeah, exactly, exactly. All right, so that was good. That was quick. Next one.
I got some good Jimmy Fallon stories, but I'll tell them another time.
Oh, can you give us one quick one?
Yeah. So, you guys ever heard the song "Thrift Shop"? I'm gonna pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket. You know that song? It was a really,
No.
really big song in like 2013, 14. When was it? I want to say 2013. It was like one of the biggest songs of the year.
Okay.
Let's see. I just want to know the year. 2012. So I reached out to the guy that was singing that song because I love Nate Dogg, and he was a Nate Dogg basically like clone on that song. So I reached out to him. I told him I wanted to do music with him, whatever. We got in touch. We started working on music, and unfortunately, maybe I can play some of it on stream, but I'm
Mm.
not sure. It might get copyright strikes. We did a bunch of songs together, whatever. But he happened to do Jimmy Fallon's show with Macklemore and Ryan
Okay.
Lewis because obviously they were performing that song. The guy's name is Wands from Seattle. And so we our where are we? We went somewhere in the city. I went with him, his manager, and a record label executive that we were meeting with. And we sit down and have lunch, and he sees Jimmy Fallon in the restaurant. Like, apparently they didn't want to give the record label guy the table because Jimmy Fallon was there. They wanted to keep everybody away. He's
Hmm.
like, listen, it's fine. We won't bug him, whatever. But Wands goes over there and sings to him. He sings the thrift shop hook, and Jimmy Fallon's like, "Yo, what's going on, man? How you
Hmm.
doing?" And whatever. And he's like, "Dude, this is great." He's literally like hanging out with him. He says, "Come on my show anytime you want."
Hmm.
He was sitting with his producer, and this was literally the night after he had hosted one of the awards shows, Grammys or Oscars or something. I don't think it was Grammys because it was warm out. So Golden Globes, Oscars, one of those. And he leaves, and after whatever, he's nice, super nice guy. Says what's up, takes a picture with Wands, whatever. I think there's a picture on my Instagram of it actually. And he leaves, and he tells the staff to what does he tell us? He has them order us. He wants them to send us food, but like some weird food. He wants it like yeah. Can you send him like a I forget what it was, something with a pickle in the middle, and that was the whole
You,
point.
you know, I asked for a short story, right, Dan?
Yeah, you know you're not going to get them from me, right, Julia? But yeah, that was the little first half of that story, and then there's other stuff. We'll talk about that later. But that's my little quick story. And yes,
But
Mousimus, that is right.
I need to know
RHCP.
about the pickle now.
Well, I don't. They didn't even do it. The waiter says, "Yeah, they wanted this pickle in there." He's like, "I don't know. I just brought you guys the fries." I was like, "Okay." But anyway, Jimmy Fallon was a man of his word. He said, "Come on my show anytime," and literally, he had him on the show. Whatever, a couple of months later, they emailed me and were like, "Wow, great." He's as nice of a guy as you'd think in person when you see him on the TV. Like he's that guy. He's a
Okay,
really cool guy. So anyway,
nice.
let's go on to your
Next one.
next thing. Hmm. That looks like a Gibson Hummingbird guitar. There's like a Sphinx lady in the background. They're on a beach. They're huge.
Well, they're huge metaphorically, right?
All right, I
Visually
get that.
metaphorically.
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, I just saw Mousimus. I think it's got to be Mick and Keith, right?
Yeah, yeah, and it specifically refers to no, it's not Vegas. It's someplace in like Europe somewhere. They had a very particular album that they recorded, um, and the gate looked like that, and the beach and stuff around there looked like that. And I friggin' can't
Interesting.
remember, and I'm getting frustrated because
The
I did so
country?
much research. What's that?
The country, you mean?
Yeah, I don't remember what country, but it was some
Italy?
European recording thing that they did, and that's his guitar and all this.
Was it Italy
I don't know. It probably was, judging
or
from that
Spain?
Sphinx
Maybe
lady. What's that?
Spain, Portugal.
You see. I wish I thought Dan would know stories that would help me fill in these blanks, but
Not on the Rolling Stones. Sorry, only on
no.
people that I've worked with, really.
I'm actually really happy that you can recognize what guitar that is because I wanted to be very careful about making sure. Yeah, I like yeah,
Could
Maximus.
be
I'm not
it could
that
be
good
Ronnie
at
Wood. Now that you mention it,
it.
yeah.
I don't remember who I tried to make that look like now. Fair enough. So it could be either. It's been so long since I did these
It's
that
totally
I
Mick
can't
though.
remember. Yes.
Totally Mick. That's awesome.
Okay.
You know what
All right.
game?
Cool.
Let's talk about games. It reminds me of Just Cause 3. Anybody ever played Just Cause 3? That's the
No.
architecture style that it looks like.
Interesting.
It's a pretty wild game.
No, I've never played. It's a console game. I'm suspecting.
It's PC as well, but it wouldn't
Okay.
probably run on
No.
your your
No.
fantastic
Um,
high-end
yes.
cutting edge machine.
It's beautiful. It's a work of art. Well, so you can notice that I'm using a very limited color palette here too.
And there was a
So
reason for that.
it's just how what I like,
Printing.
you know.
Oh, gotcha.
No, I just like to use. So the EGA is like, oh my gosh, I get so many more colors. Okay, next, let's move on.
What is that? 4 colors, by the way.
I don't know, like probably I fake it because there's tones of the same color.
Okay, so who do we have here? We have some guy who's had some clear like heart work or something done on him, and he's in
Mm-hmm.
black and white for a reason. I keep wanting to say that's Cher, but it's not Cher.
No, it's not Cher.
Um, it also looks like 60s or 70s. No, it's got to be 70s.
Yeah, probably 70s.
Yeah, Andy Warhol for sure.
Mouse Miss is really good at this.
Yeah, but what
Yeah.
records did Andy Warhol do?
No, it had to do with Andy Warhol and just the factory and his whole thing that he
Ah,
was up to. So I think in
gotcha.
the front we have, I don't remember the lady's name, and that also might be a Mick Jagger of the set. I don't remember
Yeah,
now.
it kind of looks like.
I don't remember who it's supposed to be now. I've got the worst memory, and I should have prepped better. But yeah, it's Andy Warhol and something to do with Andy Warhol and the people he was surrounded in the 70s by.
Well, let's mention Andy Warhol briefly. Now, I don't know
Okay.
anything about Andy Warhol other than the fact that if Amiga Bill was here,
Hmm.
he would be interjecting, saying Andy
Debbie
Warhol
Harry.
did some stuff on the Amiga, and I think it might have had to do with Debbie Harry. I'm trying to remember.
Yes, yes, you're right.
Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So the Amiga, it was an Amiga image of Debbie Harry. Yeah, and
Yeah,
if
all
you
these people are somebodies, and I can't remember any of their names
let's
now.
see
But yeah,
here.
that might be. Yeah.
Here we go. Great. Hold on. Let me share my screen real quick.
Okay.
Debbie Harry, Andy Warhol, and the Amiga. I think that's a looks like a 1000. That is a 1000, an Amiga 1000 with a separate couple of disk drives. I don't remember exactly what his fascination with it was, maybe deluxe paint or something like that. But we uh we are definitely fans of the Amiga here. So I just want to point that out as a point of nerdiness order.
Did Debbie Harry ever have her hair cut short? Because there must be a reason why I made her hair short. I don't know if this is
Is
Debbie
that
Harry. I
Debbie
feel like it
Harry?
is. Hmm?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I met her recently. I met her in the Cayman Islands about a year or two ago. My friend Matt is her keyboard player,
Oh, sweet.
and Matt's an awesome guy. And he's written some songs with her recently that came out. If you've listened to any of the Blondie recent stuff, he
Okay.
plays with that band now. And yeah, it was cool. It was just brief. I didn't get to
What,
talk to her earlier or anything, but said, "Hey,
what
what's
were you
up?"
doing in the Cayman Islands?
We had a concert, naturally.
Yeah.
We had a big festival. Actually, it was a fantastic festival. Great lineup, all kinds of different music.
Mm.
Sean Paul, Shaggy, Blondie, Blues Traveler, Wanda Sykes was there doing comedy. It
Nice.
was all like who's who of random thrown together stuff, but it was great. It was totally great. It was just really enjoyable to be around all those different guys. I didn't get to see Magic, by the way, who's a Canadian band who I
Huh.
love. Even though they think that they're basically trying to do a bad copy of reggae, they're awesome, and I love that stuff. They're basically. I remember a story of them telling Sean Paul like, "Yeah, we're just trying to like fake like what you guys do." They don't do dance hall, but they do reggae, so
Oh, that's sweet.
it's awesome. Yeah, I'm not sure she had super short hair, but who
I don't
knows?
know.
Who
So
knows?
it might not be Debbie Harry, but I was
Yeah.
definitely looking at a lot of reference for this. So there, some lady that had short hair and was related, not related, but connected
And then
to
in the
Andy Warhol.
back, it's one of the women from Command and Conquer Red Alert.
Oh my gosh.
What's her name? I forget.
Moving on.
Okay. So it's probably The Who, I would think, based off the everything, the imagery
Hmm.
mostly, the pinball
Hmm.
stuff.
Hmm.
And I guess this is a reference to what's their song called? Don't they have a pinball song? Pinball
Yes,
Wizard?
they do.
Pinball
Yes, they
Wizard, is
do.
that the song? Yeah.
Yuki, absolutely.
See, I'm not a huge like 70s rock guy, but I know enough and I do
Hmm.
appreciate it.
And you can
Um
actually see by the flippers, you can see kind of Tommy, but it's kind of cropped and it's cut off in a way. But it says Tommy.
Tommy like the toy company?
No, but they did the Who had a musical that was called it was
Ah,
Tommy, and it was Pinball Wizard and all
this
this.
is a fantastic image. I mean, some of these are just amazing. I'm surprised like this isn't like one of those, like you don't have a bunch of these images that are just like still floating out around the internet after, 10 years. Like everybody just references this one every once in a while.
No, it's not even on. I don't think. I don't know if it's on my site right now currently or not. I don't know.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and people love the Who.
Yeah, people like the Who. This is Pete Townsend. Townshend. I don't
Pete
know.
Townsend. Yep,
Townsend, I guess. Yeah, I don't.
Pete Townsend.
Okay, moving on.
Oh, Bowie. That's an easy one.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Ziggy Stardust.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep. It's hard with him because he has like some wild stuff. But David Bowie is a fantastic, was, I should say, a fantastic musician.
Mm.
Fantastic musician. Unbelievable musician, really. Writer, composer, piano player, performer. And, the funny thing is, there's a great video of, do you guys know who Nina Simone is?
No.
Nina Simone is also fantastic musician, unbelievable piano player and singer. She's most famous probably for the "Feeling Good" song, and I'm feeling good.
Yes.
Do
Yep.
do
Yep.
do do. That's her song.
Okay.
So there's some live footage on YouTube, and you can hear her mention David Bowie, and that's how David Bowie is her friend or whatever. She says, "Oh yeah, he's
Hmm.
my friend. Is he here?" And somebody says somebody makes a comment about him wearing this, outlandish stuff that he was wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, that's show business. It has nothing to do with
Mm-hmm.
what he is as a person and what he's doing. And I totally agree
Yep. Yep.
because Prince was exactly the same way. He's kind of doing this like kind of androgynous thing, which was, I guess, Bowie's big thing. Not that he was even the first. Grace Jones as well did
Mm-hmm.
something
Mm-hmm.
similar. Um, but that's part of show business. And even though we think about now like, oh, you have to have like a gag or a trick to get noticed. But these guys were doing it way back when.
Yeah.
Was it a gag? I mean, I don't know, but it wasn't. It had no bearing on their music. Presentation. There you go. That's a perfect way to say it, Slat Studio. So this is this awesome image. And interestingly, you have like, which I don't know if this has any significance, but like the Jewish Star of David.
I
Is that
can't remember
significant?
if it did or not. I probably did. I
Gotcha.
don't know.
I don't believe Bowie was Jewish, but I could be
I
wrong about that.
I I must have had a reason for choosing that style. I don't know. Again, it was so long ago,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right,
Well, that's all good.
next. Maybe Starman, Mosmos, maybe.
Starman could be. There's
All
a
the research I did is just
Starman.
gone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is the, let's see, that's Migos. You don't even know who Migos
No, of course I don't.
is. They're like a mumble rap group.
Okay.
Um, I think that is the Centipedes.
Yeah. I love them.
Terrible. You can't even joke about this one. Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, I
Yes.
assume.
So do you know any? So if you know anything about the album, maybe you can pick out some of the stuff that's in here. I don't know if you know. I don't. I didn't. I still don't. But I did a lot of research about the track names and some of the patches and stuff.
Interesting. Um, I don't know an extraordinary amount about the Beatles, to be honest. Um, yeah, that would be great playing card back, wouldn't it?
Hmm.
Holy cow. You could even do one of each Beatle, like a pack of 52.
Yeah, they could be each suit, I suppose. Like,
Paul, Harrison. Yeah, that would be amazing. But good luck getting the license for that and actually making or seeing
yeah. Well,
any of the
yeah.
money off of it. But yeah, the Beatles, yeah, the Monkees, exactly. um, the Beatles are an interesting phenomenon because it was a short time and as we knew it, but they said that they would uh, Lennon and McCartney had known each other for a long time before that. So Anyway, um, I was watching some interviews. I watched John Lennon's last interview.
Oh yes, you mentioned this last stream. Do you remember?
Yeah, it's that was a great one to watch. And I watched some George Harrison interviews as well. They were being called like drug addicts and promoting drugs. And if you listen to what they said, I mean, assuming you believe it, I did. I was like, yeah, I mean, these guys are really just being painted by the
Yeah.
media at the time. They're literally the picture of them is being painted, and these are just humans doing what they
Hmm.
want to do, and it's crazy. So I don't know. I mean, I certainly did not buy into a lot of the hype that the media puts forward, even now, and certainly back then, about musicians. A lot of it is exactly that hype,
Hmm.
and it's specifically created. You know, some of the paparazzi things. When you're a famous person now, you call the paparazzi to let them know what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you, or if you're Kim Kardashian, you sell the rights to specific life events to a magazine
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
a specific outlet, and they say, "Yeah, we'll sell you rights to our exclusive wedding photos for 5 million or 10 million or whatever it
Hmm.
is, and we'll get
Hmm.
this sponsor to pay for the wedding." So they're actually making money. So these are business transactions, even though it's a
Yep.
wedding. They're that's what it is. So yeah, Freud, that's my best short stories about the Beatles that I have. I've never met Paul. What I will say about it is my band, the agency that I work for in New York City, they have played with Paul McCartney a couple of times. He sat in with the band, and it's funny. The other musical director at the company said to me, he's like, "Dude." So I'm sitting there playing. This guy leans over. He's like, "Hey, do you know that Beatles thing? Saw her standing there." He looks over. It's Paul McCartney. He's like, "Yeah, we know that one. Of course we can play that." And so he said he got to play with Paul doing that song. It's pretty awesome. And he's had his same band for a long, long time. But if you're lucky enough to see them here, Paul here, or Billy Joel here, oftentimes one or the other will be at the concert. So when I saw Paul McCartney at Yankee Stadium, I don't know, 8 or 10 years ago, and Billy Joel was there, and he comes on stage and does 3, 4 songs. It was great.
Huh.
And I'm not even a huge fan of either of them. I just wanted to go experience that. It was fantastic. So are we on to the next one?
Well, I just wanted to a few things about this. So, do you know, as a musician, the story like the John Lennon here has his finger bandaged, and do you know the story of one of the tracks on this album?
Nope.
Apparently, he injured his finger, and so one of the tracks, or I don't, at least one of the tracks of this album, he played the guitar without using that finger, and so it kind
Interesting.
of affected how the song was played or how they ended up composing it or something.
Does anybody
Yeah.
know that one? I don't know it.
And another thing is, if you look at the backgrounds, you've got John Lennon's got the stormy, rainy background, and on the opposite side, you've
Mm.
got Paul with the sunny, sunny background.
Mm.
A couple other references is there are a couple other types of instruments in this. You can't see it because I think it's getting cropped, but
Well, I see a French horn.
yeah, there's a French one by Ringo. There is like an Indian instrument, I think, and then there's a by Paul's got there's a different kind of drum, and those were new instruments they incorporated into the album. The jelly babies, the parking meter, the cornflakes, rooster. These are all references to separate. Like good morning is that the reference is the
Nice.
I made the rooster, cornflakes rooster. The kite has some reference I don't remember. The marshmallow pie also has some reference that I now forget.
Mm.
And the daisies on John's shoulders, I think, or something too, but I don't
Interesting. This is showing the vast lack of knowledge I have about these subjects.
Yeah. And rose-colored glasses for it. Yeah, I don't remember if that had a particular thing or I just wanted to make them shaded.
DJ Mega
Oh
Hammer
yeah,
said the
and
sitar. It's probably the sitar.
Paul, yeah, sitar, and Paul has like an OPP badge on his shoulder or his arm, and that has to do with
Naughty by
I
nature.
yes, thank you, Dan. It has to do with some kind of connection he had with that, and I don't remember now because I have no memory. Okay, moving on.
Nice. This is awesome image. I think you might have sent me this one time,
I don't remember.
a long time ago. Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be White Stripes, right? I don't know these.
It is. And so
Yeah,
this one, I actually, because I'm more of a
Jack
White
White.
Stripes fan, so I can tell some of the references I actually put in here. Like the poster that's above Meg's head is White Blood Cells,
Hmm.
reference to one of the albums. There's on the to the right on the easel, there's a Style, which is another one of their albums, and it has that kind of very modernist painting look. Uh, Other stuff you can see, they one of their albums had a dead goldfish
I
in a
see
bowl
that.
on the cover, and that you can see that by Meg's foot. They have obviously an album called Elephant, which is why there's an elephant, and of course the striped candy is a big thing for them. I forget what the Lego is, but there's a couple buttons on the dresser by the Lego, which is I guess button to button, hardest button to button. I think they had something to do with a snake, and I don't remember the rest of the stuff that I did.
The
Um,
snake is a reference to King's Quest, probably.
yeah, yeah, you're right, Dan.
Or is it
Yeah, and
Quest for Glory?
I think Jack White looks a bit like Johnny Depp anyway, but I don't know if this is that great of a portrait. But anyway,
And I actually, I'm gonna have to credit Tondagasa because I did not know
no, I know, I saw
that.
that. And also, in just the overall visual metaphor here is, so Meg is up in the attic, and Jack is coming from down below, and he's kind of like the devil in this image, and she's sort of the angel, and he's giving her the the drumsticks, because I think that wasn't the story that he kind of convinced her to, hey, let's do let's be a band and stuff, and so he's kind of encouraging her to take that on.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yes, DJ Mega Hammer. Yes, so that's Michelle Gondry, and I've spoken about this video before. Fell in love with a girl. Michelle Gondry did a music video of the music video was animated in Lego, and that's why the Lego pieces are there.
Jeez, that must have been some undertaking.
Yes, it's incredible. Gusak PT, you love the black, white, and red drawings. This one would have particularly even more limited colors than the other ones. I think this is just three colors. That's a
Wild.
dark navy blue, the red, and the kind of the lighter gray, cool gray.
Brute does a
And
lot of black and white and red. Who's Brute?
I don't know. Good question.
Well, we'll get Furroy to explain,
Okay,
educate us.
so I think that's it for that one. So I was able to say because I can in this one.
Well, that's my guy right there,
Yeah,
Willie. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, he's a fantastic. And I assume this is on the road again.
probably.
Yeah, fantastic songwriter.
Hmm.
Fantastic songwriter. Um, or it could be Route 66, I guess. I mean, he might have done a
I
cover
don't
of that.
remember. The poem may have been vague
Gotcha.
or mentioned them both. Who knows?
Yep. Willie Nelson's probably underrated as a
Hmm.
songwriter and a musician in general. He's more of like I don't know, I feel like people kind of view him almost as a cartoon character in a way or a caricature of himself
Hmm.
kind of thing, but he's totally amazing. Ah, yes, KMFDM. Well, I definitely know that artwork for sure. And their logo was black, white, and red, as I remember. So what do you call? Is that a specific color palette that's called that you're using in these images? Because I mean, they seem like they have a certain style, or is that just your thing to use
Well,
limited colors?
across all of the images, I think I did 12 images. Across all of the images, I would say there's probably colors that are the same in all of them. Like this yellow is probably the same color that where the French horn was in the Sgt. Pepper Lonely Hearts piece.
Interesting.
So I reused a lot of the colors because it was all part of a collection. So I
Gotcha.
wanted to unify them in a way. So part
Sure.
of it is the drawing style, part of it is the color.
Interesting. Monohumatic.
Yeah.
I have no idea
Yes.
if that's real. If that's real, it sounds real. If it's
I
not
don't.
real,
I've never heard it, but that doesn't mean it's not real.
it
Um,
sounds impressive to me. I'd buy it.
So I think part of this, and I don't know if Willie has any like religious connotations, but I did make this look like the border is more like a stained glass window with an arch, and his head is haloed with the sun, and the
And is
clouds
that
are parting.
weed growing out
Y-
from his legs?
Exactly.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't remember why I did that, but maybe there's some significance there. And looking at pictures of Willie Nelson, I noticed he has a particular guitar strap, so I used that in the image, and I think
Interesting.
he has that bandana.
And interesting, he's also carrying a nylon string guitar, which is not often played with a strap. Typically, a nylon string guitar is considered a classical guitar, but
Hmm.
the interesting strap you're referring to looks like it attaches right here, whereas normal guitar strap would attach here and here at the bottom of the guitar. and
Hmm.
then right at the top of the body of the guitar,
Yep.
as
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
opposed to
Yep. Yep.
here,
Yep.
which this may make more sense as a nylon string, because a nylon string is basically not generally not played for rock or popular music.
Hmm.
It would be played in classical guitar, which that's another fantastic style of music. There's got to be a reason at some point I'd be able to write and hire a classical guitarist to do music, but it's unbelievable stuff. There's a famous, if you want to look up some great classical guitar music, there's a famous, that's his guitar trigger. Okay, cool. Yeah, nylon is usually played sitting with no strap. And if there's a famous guitar player named John Williams, not to be confused with the famous film composer, but John Williams is a fantastic classical guitarist, and hence the weird straps attachment. Yes. So normally you would actually be playing in this sitting position with a pedal, and the pedal
Hmm.
just lifts one foot. And if you don't have a pedal, you'll see a guy like put one foot perpendicular to the other and put the other foot
Right.
on top of it.
I
It's kind of
see.
weird.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't generally play classical guitar stand. You'd never play classical guitar standing. I should say.
See, now, here's me not knowing enough about music to know that you would play this style of guitar with that particular strap
But
sitting.
Willie would not, because Willie does not play classical guitar. He may play nylon string, but he's playing his own style of
I s-
music. So he's
Maybe I
doing his
saw him
other thing.
standing in pictures playing this.
He
I feel
probably
like
was. Yeah, he
hmm,
probably was. I don't know. You wouldn't be able to just invent a strap like that, I don't think.
no. And yeah, those are weeds growing under his feet. And yeah, the bird, I don't know, the poem had something to do with, death or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the vulture, the turkey
Yeah,
vulture,
potentially that could have been it. But it's very, Americana. You got the
Americana,
go
totally.
amber waves of grain, and you got the farmland, and you know, although like the road does not look that in that good of a shape, and I don't remember why that was. But yeah.
Do we got any more of
Next,
these? I like this guessing game.
good, good. I'm glad that you're
Even
you're
though I'm
getting
not
something out
good.
of this.
Even though I'm like
What's that?
50% at best.
Oh, so no. Okay, so this is the last one, and you're not gonna. This is not
Pink
any
Floyd?
particular. This is not particular to like a band or anything, but it does refer to an album, and I guess it's a pretty. Yeah.
It's not Pink Floyd?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so easy to guess, but it hasn't. Of course, it's more like to do with that particular album than anything else. Yeah.
It's not Elton John.
No.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I mean, have you ever done has anybody ever watched the Dark Side of the Moon with Wizard of Oz combo?
No.
I've watched a little bit of it. It's pretty wild. It's pretty weird.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's all for the music themed ones that have discussion. So I guess now that we've taken this awesome break, we're gonna get back to working on the music with even more energy than before. Right?
Absolutely.
Hold on. Let me turn off my screen share.
The
Great.
stream has ended. Cricket noise.
Yeah. Yeah. This happened. Just have to fix it,
Oops.
and it'll get fixed.
Oh yeah. Did I have to close?
Something or other. I don't remember. Whatever you did last time, do that this time again.
Okay. So let me
Yeah.
close stream.
Don't
Oh
panic,
yeah. Here we go.
everyone.
No, we got it.
Yeah. Okay.
I got it.
Because I don't know what you have to do on your end to make it work, but you've figured it out clearly. Um,
Yeah. That's how Julia rolls for Roy. We did that in college once. I was rather bored from it. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know if I'd watch the entire movie that way, but it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. There's a lot of sounds that line up, sound effects. And at the
Hmm.
time, Pink Floyd did a lot of semi-revolutionary recording techniques, which would now be considered kind of a joke. Like
Hmm.
now it's like a joke to do any of that stuff. But back then it would have been some kind of feat. And they weren't, I don't believe they were purposefully trying to line up those things with The Wizard of Oz.
Mhm.
I think they just kind of sort of work. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. So let me close this. Let me go back to our composing. Oops. Boom. No, let's do this. Composing with us. There we go. Boom. So let's listen to this one more time and see what we like, and let's try to make a decision if we can. Oh, the floating rainbow. My thoughts are, well, your thoughts. What do you think
Well,
about that immediately?
the last one that you just had, I don't think is working with that particular instrument, but the one before that, I think was working.
Yeah, these two are too high. My opinion is the same, and these two kind of worked. I love the Reading Rainbow early theme song. I do not like the one that they fixed or edited or updated.
Hmm.
The original was amazing.
It's good too.
This has more mystery to me.
Yeah, you're right. I see that. I hear that.
And the game is about a she's not a detective, she is a detective of sorts, right? She's not officially a detective. She's a
No.
wannabe gemologist, geologist,
Mineralogist.
mineralogist, excuse me. I always get this wrong. But she's also a very eavesdropping-ish lady who happens to start putting things together and randomly stealing blue mugs and listening into other people's conversations.
Well, like, look, I think mineralogy is a lot like detective work, but it's sort of geologic detective work because you're investigating and you're taking these samples and you're doing analysis. You
So the
know,
lady rocks.
well, like you rocks.
Oh, ouch.
Mhm. We have
What
the
game is
trailer
that
music
in?
right now, you
What
guys.
game is that in? It's in a King's Quest, isn't it?
Is it?
Hey, I got banned for my terrible pun. No fair. Did I ban you from this channel or the other one? Let's ban him again.
Look, like everything else, puns in moderation, you guys. Right? That's the responsible way to do it.
There, I got him. Banned him.
Uh huh.
He's gone. Don't worry, you won't be seeing him here again. King's Quest 1 or 2, yeah, I think so. I think it is. I couldn't tell you which one it's in, but it's in one of them. That's a tune by Grieg. Yep, yep, exactly, Edenwaith. Edvard Grieg. He did a couple of pretty cool. No, that was Schubert. I'm lying. That was
Oh,
Earl
that's
King.
good too, isn't it? That's definitely in a King's Quest game.
It is in a King's Quest game, isn't it?
Yeah.
And don't they have?
I don't know if
Do they
they
have that
do.
one in there? I bet you also fight like a dairy farmer. Oh no, the Swordmaster's insults. No fair. If you think about the game mechanic of Monkey Island sword fights, how awesome is that? Because it's a point and click adventure. You're not really there's no really like arcade sequence to it. The whole thing is you have to learn insults, use the insults, and you win based on those insults.
Well, what the amazing part about that particular puzzle was you had to use them in a completely creative way to beat the Swordmaster, which was amazing. When I figured that out as a kid, it was the best thing ever.
I just remember the insults were just, I thought they were great at the
Oh, they
time
were
as a
hilarious too.
kid,
Yeah.
you know? So, I don't know. I'm not going to start using those insults now. There was a Greek song, Anatrina's Dance, in the Mordavian Inn in Quest for Glory 4. Interesting. I don't know if I ever recognized that, but I usually was pretty good about recognizing classical music. Speaking of which, has anybody played Lamplight City by our good friend Francisco Gonzalez, aka Grundislav? There is, oh, you have Amberseen, nice. There is, and the game composer was a guy named Mark Bennis. He snuck in a Rachmaninoff piece into that game. Can anybody tell me which one it was? Does anybody know that? I'm not even sure if Francisco would know. He probably would. He's pretty up on that stuff, especially it's his game. I do like that song. Who used that? Oh, Furroy said he used Greensleeves in his RPG. Yeah, that's a great one. And I'm not even sure they know who wrote that song. I just believe it's attributed to a traditional melody of some kind. And it changes. There's like a lot of variants, different versions of the song. But I think it's most well known as kind of a Christmas song, right?
Yep. Yeah. What child is this?
What child is this? Yes. Midnight. So DJ Mega Hammer said it's also used in the Learning Company's Midnight Rescue. I don't know that one. I love the Learning Company stuff. My favorite. Oh, this has a classical song in it. This is my favorite Learning Company song game, and this is the version, the EGA. I believe it's the EGA
Sweet.
version. I don't know if you can see any of that art. Probably not. Oh, hold on. Oh, that might be a little better. I might be able to see that a little easier. Did you ever play this one?
No, I just have the Midnight Rescue one. The one that's in the TV station. Is that Midnight Rescue?
Not too sure. Are you the
I
same
love
guy
this
in that game?
Yes.
Okay, the guy who can't really see
Yeah.
see too well.
Yeah.
He's got
Just
the hat.
and yeah.
The melodic minor version, yeah. So I was in another channel the other night, watching another streamer's thing, and I was saying they're using a software called Auto-Tune, which is for typically tuning vocals, but you can use it on instruments as well. And they were using it on a bass track, and I was like, I don't usually use minor when choosing a key in Auto-Tune. Let me show Auto-Tune real quick. Do I have Auto-Tune?
Ooh. Can you demonstrate it? Can you sing something off key and then make it on key?
No, because I don't have the ability to plug audio into this machine at the moment.
No.
Remember I was telling you I have to kind of fix this
Hmm.
setup. My audio setup is all wild. Ever do any filk, writing humorous lyrics to existing songs? No, but it is something that I've seen done a lot.
What I like actually, it's not really filk, but when people use the cadence of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and they just write some, they come up with some other sentence that is the exact same cadence.
Wild.
Yeah, like
Interesting.
instead of Teenage Mutant Ninja, you go Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah. Because sometimes I'll get stuck in these things where I'm thinking in my head other sentences, any weird sentence that follows that same thing, like breakfast sausage for my lunchtime, like.
I love it. Oh wait, we don't have to do it. Let's do this. There we go. We want to see you sing that.
No, I'm not singing.
Somebody clip that, please.
It's not sing. It's just a fun cadence, like language
Oh
thing to
man,
play with,
nice one. Yeah.
Tanda, 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 gasa. Yeah.
But anyway, this software, right? So there's your game sound done. You're done for the night. Thank you. This basically, it has a choice. You can choose keys or chromatic. The reason you wouldn't want to use chromatic, at least in terms of a pop song, is because it's going to give you a lot of extra notes. So what I normally do is use major, but I'll pick the major, like if it's in a minor key, for example, I'll pick the relative minor. The relative major. So let's say C major. If the song is in A minor, I'm putting C major because I don't want the auto-tune to decide what minor am I getting when I hit. So natural minor, harmonic minor, and look, ascending and descending. I mean, really? Like, what? Who uses all these different things? Pythagorean? Holy crap. I mean, you could. Some people probably do. I've never touched anything but chromatic or major. And sometimes I'll just make my own scale based off the notes that I need to be in the vocalist's part for the song. But the beautiful thing about autotune is you can change the singer's notes totally.
Hmm.
Maybe I'll show that off at some point in the future, but it's not a heavy reference. Like, we won't be using autotune in this game because there's no reason to. Everything on the MT32 is roughly ish in tune already. When you have bad musicians in the studio, auto-tune the scale of the song. Yeah, sort of. But a lot of times, yeah, Pythagorean probably refers to a tuning that's not using what we use, the intonation that we use, which is called what?
Senior bingo sumo wrestlers.
Can auto-tune make Bob Dylan sound good? Nope. That's his voice. Yeah, autotune can't correct everything. And I think that's what does happen. You tend to think that, oh, you can fix this in the studio. There's a lot you can't fix. You can fix, and then there's a lot you can't fix.
And it's probably not going to sound good.
No, no.
I was trying out some Twitch sings just on my own, and they have like a severe auto tune setting. But if you put it on, and you try singing, and then you hear it, and it tries to, I guess, make it so that you're doing the right exact notes, it sounds horrific.
Well, wait a second. Could I get us auto-tuned all the time while we're doing this?
What?
Oh, I'm wondering if I can. No, because Wavestune is registered to this computer. No, sorry, I can't.
What are you talking
I
about?
was just going to try to turn on auto-tune while we do this stream.
So auto tune to what though?
We'd be talking and it would auto-tune us.
To what? Like to what song? I don't.
Anything, just a scale.
Oh
Wouldn't
my
tune it
God.
to a song. It would be wild. We could sound like Lil Wayne the whole time, or T-Pain.
That's
Be
wonderful.
fantastic.
Spicy Spanish parkour bankers.
Please, somebody clip all these. Parker Brothers, yeah. Can we do some Crimson Diamond ones?
Nancy Maple goes to Crimson.
Yeah, it's okay. I think we can get some better ones. Ton DeGasso one is an alert. You should,
Oh
dude.
man,
That's
Tonda, if you
awesome.
do that, that'd be
Please
awesome.
do that.
Oh God.
I've never
have I
done Filk, but I'm glad that the two of you guys figured that out. Crimson Diamond Murder Mystery. Yes. I love it. Yeah, see, it is a mystery game, so she's got to be a sort of a detective. And Nancy Drew, what's the other ones you referenced? Agatha Christie.
Yeah, Miss Marple. And here's the thing, Bill Kuhn, is I say Crimson Diamond Murder Mystery, but I never said there was a murder in this game, by the way. So whatever people are imagining, I don't know. It's up to them.
There's one in the demo.
There's a murder in the well. Okay, well,
Sort
a
of.
story, true story one, for real story one.
Right. If you get the murder in the demo, the demo's over.
Yeah.
Restart, or hopefully you saved.
Yeah, that's more like a fun Easter egg murder. It's not like a for real murder.
Yeah, detective / kleptomaniac game. Steal everything that isn't nailed down.
Yep.
You try to steal. There's like a lot of stuff I've tried to steal in that game, and it gives you nice answers. And it actually, to be honest, that part of the immersion, it's like, come on, Nancy wouldn't do this. What are you talking about? Like, it's like a subtle, like, not quite a slap on the face, but a little bit like, hey, pay attention. Nancy
Just
wouldn't do
a
this.
massive bridge destruction. Or for real murder. No, yeah. So far, there hasn't been any for real murders in the demo. So.
Are there any furries in the game? Probably not.
No, I don't know if that probably was a thing, but no, there's
I'm
not
sure
really
it wasn't a thing. Load Derringer with Jordan Almond. Okay. I like that, actually.
Yeah.
That would be like a Space Quest or a
Yes, Eden Wade. See what he said?
I saw some German on the Hobby Lobby yesterday. I think they're only for decoration. Yeah.
Correct.
Well, no, they're for, like, if you have a bad tooth, you can eat them, and it's cheaper than dental work. You know, it's cheaper than going, at least in this country. In Julia's country, that doesn't matter. She just goes and
No, you gotta pay for dental here.
Oh, really? It's not part of the deal?
Nope.
Oh, so
no,
Canada's out.
They call this the special bones that don't get covered.
Really? So what else? What else doesn't get covered?
Eye stuff, and up to a certain age, that stuff gets covered, and then past a certain age, And medication doesn't get covered, but it's pretty like it's a lot cheaper than where you guys are because of reasons.
Well, yeah, we used to like go to Canada and buy
Yes.
prescriptions, or Mexico and buy
Yep.
prescriptions.
Yep.
Yuppie hippie mice accountants. I like that.
Yuppie hippie mice accountants.
Please just make my channel just clips of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Julia, because
I just like
that
it.
would
I
be
don't know. It's fun to
fantastic.
think about when you're doing
So,
nothing.
can I derail us slightly again? I'd love to share. Nice, thank you, thank you. And what does it say? Hyper smooth dumplings bud blast. I
That's
love it.
amazing.
I don't understand the naming scheme of
No, it's ridiculous.
Twitch, but it's fantastic.
It
It's
is.
it's it's fantastically embarrassing, especially if you're like posting something serious.
Yep.
Can I share a little thing? I've been working on this.
Oh, geez. Sorry. I wanted to pause that. There we go. Sorry.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Cormorants. Oh God.
Ah,
There now has to be a TMNT reference in the game somewhere. Or maybe we can just I
mm-hmm.
could play it on the MT32. Maybe we should do a remake, MT32 remake of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme song. I love that. I was actually playing it the other day to capture some footage, and interestingly enough, I wanted to ask a lot of you guys' opinions here because I love that. Where we're going, we don't need rails. Um, I've been working on promotional material, and I have a song that I did for the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo, the theme song, which is odd because it's a retro gaming expo. Why does an expo or convention need a theme song? Especially since we don't advertise on TV or really have a lot of video advertisement or any video advertisement. But I wanted to do it because I thought it was cool, and it's nice for it to be attached to a organization that I volunteer and help out with. And it's a song. So I'm thinking to myself, it's a song based off of, I would say, a retro game type of
Excuse
sound.
me. Oof.
It's that bad, huh? um, and I wanted the song to get promotion. Like I want to use it as part of my demo reel, right? But if I send a demo, let me say, let's say I send a demo reel to somebody like
Hyperactive Polish gymnasts.
Polish or Polish.
Polish.
Okay, are you sure? Well, it's
No,
capitalized, but so is
it
gymnast.
is. But it all is. So
Interesting.
please continue about your demo reel theme song story.
No, I was wondering, how do I get someone to pay attention to the work that I've done and observe the music, like actually bother to listen. Let's say they get 50 composers that submit for a job or whatever, and it's 50 SoundCloud links. Is this what's called exposure, Dan? No, I don't think so. Oh, you mean the using the Long Island Retro Gaming as a theme? Maybe, but that was my idea. It wasn't theirs. And it was only the song itself is only 55 seconds long, so I'm not too worried about it. But I want to stand out among 50 resumes. How do I do that? Right? Like I could submit, if it was a paper resume, I could submit it on red paper. That would certainly make the resume stand out. Would it be a good thing? Probably not, because it's hard to read. But that's another story entirely. So if Julie is a big game designer at a big game company and she's hiring a composer for her next game, which is whatever, The Witcher 4, and it's an MMO game. She's trying to hire a composer. How do you stand out as a composer with a reel if you don't have a name like somebody that's really Jeremy Sewell, which I know that guy's kind of finished probably in the game industry, but Austin Wintry, how about that? He's one of the hotter game industry names, I would think. Or somebody that's just well known in that industry already. How do you stand out from a bunch of other people? So if I play the song and I send you the song on SoundCloud link, it's really boring. I'm gonna play it right now. I'm gonna play the song on the SoundCloud link right now. Let's see. I'm gonna play it on my SoundCloud link, and I'll show you. this is the link that I would have sent you. And I assume you're just sitting in your office or whatever, doing whatever it is that you're doing. And I send you this link. So let's see. Let me share the screen. Is that working? Are you seeing that? Yes. Here we go. This is the Lurig Expo theme song. Okay, so I just made you sit through that, but I get the feeling you would not sit through that. Yeah, it's not going to work for Witcher 4, absolutely not. Flashdance, that's funny. And Sonic, though. And 1980s Dirty Pair anime music. I don't know that anime music. But that's boring to me. It's cool. Like, you might like the song that much to bother to... Hold on, did I get out of focus or something? There we go. How do you feel about Neon? Yeah. But I feel like that isn't enough to catch someone's attention, and they may not even listen to it. Right? So my thought was, all right, let me do a video. And let me put, Dr. Mikachu. Thank you for hosting us. Happy you're here watching. Your cousin, Julia.
Hey, Miko, Dr. Mikachu.
Isn't it more about networking? Yes. So, but you have to do both. I think anyway. Sing this one. Grammy nominated.
Yes.
I think I went into Dr. Mikachu's stream the other night and she says, "Oh yeah, are you the one that Julia gives a hard time on stream?" I said, "Yes, that's me." The doctor is in. Dude, so awesome to have you here. And if you guys don't know Dr. Mikachu yet, she's an awesome streamer, but I think that's kind of underselling her. She's really a doctor of game design. She has a PhD in game design, I believe. And I watched her stream where she went over a design doc for kind of a dream game I think she's been pondering for the last few years in her head, and it was fantastic. And she wrote, she tweeted the other day that she wrote like almost 3,000 words during the stream. She gets way more, PhD in computer science studying dance games. There you go. That's very specific and very awesome. So she's brilliant, if that wasn't obvious. And she gets a lot of stuff done in her stream, so I'm going to have to learn from her in many ways. Thank you, Julia, yes. But she's also done a bunch of games. She's released 20 games or something under her own company, I believe. But the latest one I think is Code Romantic, which I just bought the other night, and I barely had time to crack it open. I really want to, and it actually teaches you to code. I'm really interested in trying to learn coding and programming. I have zero knowledge about it. I'm an idiot, but I'm hoping it'll help open the door. Yeah, she's really awesome and really interesting streamer, and play the games. Okay, so what I was going to show is, so this is this boring SoundCloud link. Nobody cares. I'm already bored, Dan. Don't want to do it. Like, I'm not going to listen to your other crappy music. Bye. So I said, well, why don't I make a video? And this video you can see is unlisted. And I'm going to show it. So I saw somebody mention Sonic before. Who mentioned Sonic? Was it Davor? Slat Studio. Yep, Sonic was definitely one of the influences to making the song. You did call it. And I'm going to play you. The video is actually not finished. This is an in-progress video. I'm hoping to get some suggestions from you guys, but I'll play it now. Unfinished. I have just the end. Boom, and there's the end. And let's unshare this and go back to, there we go. So, what do you say? Just enough room for Crimson Diamond. Yeah, I don't think I would put that one in there. I think I would do something similar with Crimson Diamond, but with the theme song playing. So I got out all those games from my collection as excuse to play them again. Yeah, so my thing was I wanted to add in some energy to the song, and the video should match the energy of the song. Even though I'm using like Tetris, the web version of Tetris, I captured every piece of footage from that, and it was a big pain in the butt. But I think it's worth the effort because I think it shows just that I spent time and effort on the song. Now, I feel like that you're more likely to watch. If I send you that link, it's under a minute long. You might watch the whole thing. If I send you a SoundCloud link, you're going to listen to 10 to 15 seconds and you're going to turn it off. Is that fair? But that, I think, would distract you enough that you would have to sit and watch the 55 seconds until you get to the black screen, obviously. When I put in full video, it'll be fine. But did you notice...
Retro punk rock ukuleles.
Did you feel like when you hit the black screen, it got boring again? Did you feel like that?
Well, yeah. No one wants to look at a black screen.
But isn't that the same as a SoundCloud link then?
Well, I mean, if you have a video that cuts out all of a sudden, then that's kind of weird.
Well,
yeah.
But this is just because it's not final. The video is not going to cut out. It's going to be finished. It's going to have full length of retro games. I got to replace a couple of the clips, and I have to add some more clips in that I've taken.
It is tough, I think, to promote work that's just sound based for sure.
Yep.
Because Twitter is definitely not like hospitable to that type of thing.
No. Absolutely. Yeah, the initiative, Slat Studio, that's kind of the point. It's showing the developer a couple of things, the idea. One, that I've taken time, I've spent time on my work. I don't just throw it out there, or at least I'm not going to send this version because it'll be a final version. I spend time on the work, and two, I want to illustrate to the developer that I know something. So I put all kinds of games in there from basically from 16-bit era to current almost. I put in the most recent game I think I put in was Hyper Light Drifter, or Streets of Rage 4. That just came out this year. There's a Streets of Rage 4 clip in there. So even though that's a new retro game, I wanted to give the developer a chance to examine the fact that, additionally, even though this guy's doing a retro song, he's aware that it could go in all these different games. And now my next step is to put in some mobile games and free-to-play stuff because I want to show somebody all that length. Now, if I knew the developer who I was pitching to specifically, then I would cater it even further. But at this point, I've had a couple of guys ask me for like links they can just share my stuff with people, which I can't really make specific for anybody, right? Like I can't do it. Oh, you got to sing some of these.
Yeah, well, I've got a couple things. The first thing is I think the good point about having the video along with the music is that what you're showing is basically the kind of job you would do with them is that you know you're taking a visual and you're adapting music to that visual. So that's like both parts of the puzzle. Because if you just give them the music with no context, then they don't know how well you are matching those two things together.
Right.
And yeah, and then the second thing is retro punk rock ukuleles. You should have good dental hygiene. I don't eat Jordan almonds. Rock and roll Hawaiian hot dogs. That doesn't work.
Well, the
But
last one
you
is
can see what I
a
tried.
different cadence.
Yeah,
The last part
I
of that
don't
song.
eat yeah, and then it goes ba 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 ba
Yeah,
ba,
different
which you
rhythm.
gotta find a different complete thing. Yeah.
What's it called? Proof of concept. Yeah, I guess that's a good way to describe it. Proof of concept in a game would be like a demo, I guess, right? Or not even a demo, could be design documents and images. Well, I guess proof of concept would have to be almost like a demo. You'd have to show off some mechanic or something you're showing in the game. That's a Dr. Mikachu question. You know, that's who I, that's who I would ask. But yeah, I also assume, and this may be right or wrong, that not every game developer knows how much or that much about music necessarily. Like Julia claims to know nothing, yet tonight she suggested something on the song that actually made it work. So it's important to have that feedback, but you know, we have a much different relationship than somebody that I don't know, right? Like I know Julia decently well at this point, you know. We've been working together for I don't know how long. How long have we been working together? 8 months,
I
9
actually
months?
really don't know.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. You got me singing now. See, that's what happens when you get with start with the Teenage Mutant Ninja
All I can
Turtles.
say is if she sings, just clip her, please. It
No,
stays there. It
that's
stays on
really
the
going to
channel.
discourage me.
And then, you know, the only problem is we're on my channel, so it can't stick on your channel. How do we do
Good. Then
that?
that's when I'm only when I'm going to do this.
Can we raid a Maple Mystery or something?
No,
Does that work?
I reject your raid. I'm not even on, so no.
Let's see.
Hot and cold electric
Oh,
tulips.
we can raid you.
How could you raid me? I'm not even on.
Sorry, I canceled the raid.
Yeah,
We'll
Tonda
do
says
it
Ninja
next time.
Turtles is a gateway song to karaoke.
Is it?
Yeah,
You like karaoke though, don't you?
I love karaoke, but I told you the problem with this is the mic is just too good. You know,
Well,
you don't want a
that
good
doesn't
mic
make
for
any
karaoke. You want
sense.
a lousy mic with plenty of reverb, and you want like echoey, like a bathroom. That's what you want.
I don't know if I buy into that, but I hear what you're saying.
You don't want something that's going to accurately reflect what your voice actually sounds like,
Why?
because then it will sound like your voice, which is not good, probably. You know.
Do karaoke machines have auto tune these days? Yes, they do. I don't know if the karaoke machine itself does, but you can do it on your phone. Your iPhone has it. Your iPhone has the ability, or Android phone, or
That's it. Interesting.
iPad. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very easy. There's a T Pain app that came out years and years ago.
Oh god. So you're gonna sound like T Pain, which is terrible.
Well,
Is
that's
that what you're
auto
saying?
tune.
Yeah, but it does this thing where yeah, it makes it sound yeah like kind of thing, you know?
No, I don't know. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, it sounds really fake and jittery.
Let me see if I can find a file with audio with vocals in it, and I'll call it up and we'll auto tune it, and I'll show you what it sounds like.
Perfect.
In the meantime, do you have another thing to show off?
Oh, yeah,
Another
I got
art
more
thing?
artwork I can show
Yeah.
off.
So let
Sure.
me
Let me
switch to Julia. There we go.
sure. Okay, so let me do a screen share. Give me 1 second. Okay. Let's see. Screen share. This. Okay. So, so I mentioned in a previous in my anecdote about how my art was in Breaking Bad, I mentioned that I did a lot of work for this alt news weekly in New Mexico called Alibi. And so this first section of things is a lot of some of the illustrations I did. So this is another music centered piece. This is a musician from New Mexico. His name was Al Hurricane, and Al Hurricane was I don't know. I doubt Dan would know him. I think he's more of a local guy.
Yeah, I don't know
But
El Hurricane.
okay, so El Hurricane. So I think that someone in their family got into contact with me and asked if they could use this for the cover or whatever of a CD or something. I said sure. And that's it. That's New Mexico. You can see the flag there, or Albuquerque or something. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I don't remember exactly. Yeah, it's a Zia symbol, I suppose.
It's Eden
Next,
Wraith, not Waith.
oh, it's Weed and Wraith. Here's another one. This one was about, yeah, like people preferring um, regular old paper books versus ebooks. I think probably because yeah, you got this bookworm who just doesn't like the taste. I guess.
Did you ever play Bookworm Deluxe?
Yes, I loved
Oh
it. It
my
was
god,
amazing.
it's so good.
Oh, so good.
It's like one of the best games I've ever played.
Yes. This one was I don't know, something about opera. I forget who that person was. Probably the composer of the operas, and I forget what this was all.
Well, it looks like Lincoln with white hair, only he sadly didn't live long enough to get white hair, I don't think.
No, no, it's definitely not. It's probably like something to do with Valkyries or Vikings or something.
Oh,
So
Valkyries. That would be Wagner.
Wagner.
Yep,
It might be
Richard
Wagner.
Wagner, who's well, I don't know if he is now, but he was not allowed to be played in Israel for
Oh,
a long period of time because he was a known anti-Semite. But
yes.
his
See,
music is
DJ Mega
amazing.
Hammer. The Cher Believe effect. When you got with Cher
Yes.
singing that song Believe, you can it's like that. It's very steppy. I don't even know how else to say it. Dr. Mikachu's egging me on. I know there's not going to be a Twitch sing stream. I know what I sound like, and
I
so that's what's
disagree.
stopping me.
I disagree. I think you should sing.
No. Next. This was another piece for New Mexico Alibi piece. So I did a lot of work for them. Only one of them ended up on Breaking Bad, so it's not a good percentage. But hey, it's a good story. And this was Rock the Nine. This was a concert they have. You ever been to Rock the Nine, Dan?
No, where's that? Is
It's
it a
in New
rock
Mexico,
festival?
Albuquerque, New Mexico Rock Festival.
No, to be honest, the only concerts I've ever done in New Mexico was with a Rod Stewart tribute band,
Oh, sweet.
which was fantastic, and it was at a casino, and it was great. I had a great time. But no, I didn't do much I haven't done any real rock festivals. I haven't really toured with any rock bands that are known or played shows with rock
Okay.
musicians that are really known. Just pop stuff or dance hall, obviously.
Yeah. Next we have here's another. Do you know this one, Dan? There's some hints here.
Mm, Sir Richard Branson playing a guitar? No, I don't know.
No. It's just General Motors in the back. There's a
He's
plane
wearing a
there.
France flag too. So no,
He
General
loves
Motors.
Truffaut.
Don't know him.
I think this is Bob Seger.
Ah, no, I
Um,
didn't know
but
this one. Sorry.
I forget the significance of all the stuff that's in here. So yeah, I'm just about as good as you are with this. Next, this was another alibi piece. It's in New Mexico type of thing. So yeah, it's obviously about some kind of band thing they were doing there. Yeah, there's nothing much else to say. But it had to do about touring bands or something. Something.
Tour in a van.
Next, yeah, and so Dan, have you ever toured in a van like that?
No, that's nicer than the van I toured in. I've toured in a van,
Oh,
so I don't have pictures. I was hoping to show like I was in Lebanon a couple of years ago, and I was hoping to find those pictures.
yes.
I didn't see them on this
Okay.
computer. I'm not sure where they are exactly. But yeah, I probably have pictures of the van that I was on tour with in 2007, 8, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that'd be really cool to see. Would it be a young Dan just getting his feet wet?
It might be a young Dan with painted nails.
Oh, that reminds me. I have another Dan slideshow to
Oh
show,
no. Oh, I'm going to
and you
be
can
sick.
you could tell us all about all the awesome things you were doing that you can't remember now.
Do you know how like you have like emotes or whatever in your conversation? So our
Yes.
messenger emote that Julie and I have between each other is a puke emote because we're often disgusted about everything.
Yes. This is 100% true.
So
Okay,
our
next.
default emote is a puke emote.
Yes, the puke emote. This is a bunch of spot illustrations, or like little illustrations that would go in different parts of a page. And of course, again, this is a lot of New Mexico stuff you can see and do in New Mexico.
I'm hungry and thirsty for a brew.
So there we go. And then this was a piece about some kind of organ donation story. I can't remember the
Good
specifics, but
lord.
yeah, that's a liver. I think I don't remember actually. I think it's a liver.
Yikes.
It was some trippy, dreamy story about organ donation.
Yeah, really for it's like what's that show? What's the movie? Oh, why can't I
What's
think
the
of it?
movie, Dan? That's a great question.
Fear and
What's the
Loathing in
movie?
Las Vegas.
Oh no, I never saw it. I don't know what this refers to anymore. I don't remember. Okay, next. Oh yeah, here's another. This was
That's
a piece I
awesome.
did. Thank you. This is so.
That's
This was a
album art.
piece. What's that?
That should be album art for somebody.
Yeah. So this was a piece I did sort of on my own. So all the other stuff that I shown up to this point was paid work. Organ delivery, very good, Dr. Mikachu. That's the spirit. Oh goodness. Okay, yeah. So this piece was So sometimes I'll do self-directed pieces where it's just whatever me doing whatever I want, taking as much time as I want, and this is one of those. So this one has got like a very Wizard of Oz Ozma type of vibe. I don't know who is familiar with Ozma and Oz books, but there was a fairy princess named Ozma, and when I was a kid, I loved fairy princesses, and she was had this beautiful like Art Nouveau type of dress, and she had these kind of like Princess Leia's hair buns, but they were on like over her ears again, but they were like had decorated like ornaments and stuff on them and a headband, and it was just a beautiful thing. So I kind of made her the ornaments that were over her ears, the headphones and stuff.
Pretty awesome.
So there's that one, and there's I don't know. Do you want me to do a few more?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, keep going. Oh yeah, so here this is a piece. This is something I did early on, and it kind of goes under the category of I did this just for myself, and I actually ended up doing paid work that is somewhat similar to this. So this is makeup, and so I did swatches, which means you'd put some on the paper to get an idea of what the color is. So I did swatches of my makeup collection at the
So
time.
that's actual
And
makeup on the.
yes,
It's like mixed media, I guess you would call
yes,
that.
yes, very good, Dan. That's a very
Okay.
good term.
You owe me another
Yeah.
diet soda.
That's no, we have to wager.
All
That
right.
doesn't
All
count.
right.
I
All
could
right.
just
Fine.
say something. I could say a correct thing to you and say you owe me something healthier
You
than that.
could. That's true.
But yeah, so this is some of my makeup collection at the time. So it was me cataloging stuff because I'd like to go into like makeup store like Sephora and look at stuff, but I wouldn't remember what I had. So this is a great way to do that visually.
So this is in your phone or something?
I know. I think I had like this is a physical thing I
Oh,
made and
gotcha.
I could just have or something. Then this one was a palette a makeup palette I was considering buying. So I drew it, and with the colors I tried to replicate with the watercolor, and writing down each piece. You can find product reviews for each of the aspects of the kit, and so I wrote down what how many reviews it got. 1.2K reviews for the eye primer potion, number one, and with a rating of 4.7. So you can see I was really trying to see broken down which products were really good and if that was made it overall a good kit.
Wild.
Yeah, Dr. Mikachu. Yeah, so over several pieces of paper, and so this was there were these really cute perfume, like little cute little mini perfume things that were at Sephora, and this was
Oh, this is
this
my
guy.
area of expertise. Cute perfume.
See, well, we're all going to learn a little something today.
we
I tune
certainly
you out
are.
when you get too nerdy into the music, and you can start tuning this out now. So this is the kind of the notes, the smelling notes of each of these perfumes, and I did a little. I love the caps of them. It's Tokidoki, which is like this Italian guy who really loves like Japanese anime and art, and so he made this whole series of like these cartoony figures. So the first row is Tokidoki, like little cappers that were on these, and I liked it more for the caps than the actual smells because I smelled them and I didn't like them. But
Hmm.
so that, and then some of the bottom ones are also ones I liked at the time.
Well, couldn't you
But some of
just
these I don't like
empty it? Or are
anymore.
they really expensive? I guess they are.
Oh well, these are little, small, almost sample sizes you could get. So some of these you could even get for free.
Oh, that's
And
pretty
then
cool.
yeah, so you could actually do if you're really cheap like me and you go to Sephora on your like your break from your mall job, you could ask them for a sample and they would fill like a little tiny like cylinder of the perfume, and you can just have that for free and then enjoy it and get tired of it and then not buy the perfume.
And
It's
not
pretty much
smell
how it works.
rotten for the rest of your shift at the mall.
Exactly. I wouldn't apply it during my shift, but I
You know
would.
what's funny is like I think of when you hear you say a mall job, the only thing I can think of is like Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
I never saw it.
Oh, you're kidding.
What's a mall job there?
Well, there's like a couple. One guy works in like like a fast food joint. Another one works in like the movie theater, I think, or
Mhm.
something. I forget all the girl work.
Mhm.
I think the girl works in a movie theater. She gets picked up by one of the guys in the movie theater, if I remember right.
Okay, no, I worked at a clothing store in a mall.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was fine as a job. Like, it just had to fold a lot of stuff, refold a lot of stuff. Um, it was fine.
I never
Um,
worked at a mall. I applied for a couple of jobs, but never got hired. This is well, that's a whole nother story. I'll tell it another time, but it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
okay, moving on. We're gonna go. I'm just gonna go through all the beauty stuff, and then we'll transition to
This is
me going to the
beautiful.
washroom, and then we'll get back to doing something potentially. So here's another example. So I was comparing what palette I wanted to buy from Sephora. So I sketched all of them out, and then how much they cost, and the reviews and everything. I was very systematic about it. I think I ended up buying, yeah, that Urban Decay one on the top left.
And this is
'Cause
this is like you went to all this trouble just to buy something?
oh yeah, like when I buy stuff, I do a lot of research. Yeah,
Even on a $42 set of cosmetics?
that's a lot of money, Dan.
I agree. It's in US dollars. Sorry. I thought it was in Canadian. That was like 18 cents US.
It's
But
so
no, we're good.
okay, as long as we're on the same page. Oh, Ferrari surprised I didn't get one of the Disney Princess palettes. And how did you know about the Disney Princess palettes, Ferrari?
Oh,
No, no, not to make
see
no,
right.
not to make fun of Ferrari, but I'm just saying because I know about them too. But
Well,
I kind of
maybe he. First of all, I don't know if Furroy is a he or a she, but if he is a he looks fantastic. I'll tell you that much. That's all I
but
need to know.
I like them and I paid attention to them. So I was wondering, how did you get them on your radar? Because I was actually more of a makeup nerd than I am now. I think I kind of settled on what I like and what I don't like and what companies I like to use. But at this time, I'm at the mall all the time, right? So I go into Sephora all the time, and I'm looking at their stuff all the time. So this is like I like to look at the little because these sets were good value because you would get little samples of each thing instead of a giant product that you might get tired of and not like eventually.
It's
Yeah, so
good that
here's
I
another
didn't
one
work
of
in a
this is my
mall.
makeup collection at the time. So this is all stuff I was doing on my own, but I did share it to a makeup website that I really liked, and I still like it. It's called Temptalia, and she really liked them, so she put them up on her site, which is really cool.
Awesome.
And so that was it. Actually, I don't think that directly led to the magazine work I eventually did, but yeah, you can see I made a little drawings of each of the MAC eye pencils and eyeshadows and stuff. And the next one. So this was another piece I did just like myself because I wanted to show I would like to do this kind of work.
Now this looks more like this looks more like
Yes.
stuff you would see in a catalog or advertisement online or article, even still an article.
Yes. Yeah. So Gursak PT says, yeah, I could do a makeup for nerds with the EGA, CGA, VGA palette. Yeah, this is one of the reasons I love makeup palettes. I love getting a curated selection of colors that is limited that I can work with. Yeah, I used to love makeup tutorials for it, but the problem with watching makeup tutorials on YouTube is that you end up just wanting to buy the stuff, so I kind of stopped.
See, it worked on Furroy too. He's a guy. He's just seen a million makeup
There's
tutorials on
something about
YouTube.
them that's really nice,
I've
because
never
the lighting
watched
is
one.
always gorgeous and the video quality is always very, very high
Maybe I need
on
to
those
watch
on
one.
those videos. What's that?
I said I've never watched one, but maybe I need to watch one.
They're I'm telling you, they're very high production value. You get to see the product. They'll apply the product to their skin, so you can see how dense it is, how saturated it is. Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, it's I love watching MRE videos. Like there's this guy Steve 1989, and
The
he
meal's ready
unboxes
to
and
eat?
what's that?
The meal's ready to eat?
Yes. So
Oh,
this is
wow.
guys he unboxes and he'll eat like MREs, but he'll eat old ones from the Civil War and stuff that's like 80-year
Oof.
old like
The Civil War is
biscuits
more
and
than
stuff.
80 years ago.
Well, whatever, like so long ago, like crazy long. And he'll smoke the
Yikes.
cigarettes that come with the Vietnam like the rations they would get. And I love that channel. I've never eaten an MRE in my entire life, but it's fascinating.
Wild. Yeah, I haven't
Okay,
haven't watched that one either.
so this was a collection of also products that I was interested in. And so I drew them like this, and I did watercolor, and I put them in like a kind of like how Dan's doing
Oops.
with his
Sorry.
video, right, where you
I
want to
just
show
screwed up
this
the
to
thing.
people who's to get work like this. There's a million rabbit holes on YouTube that 100% true.
This
Lister
our whole
Venus
Twitch
Meta
stream
mouthwash. What?
experience is a rabbit hole, isn't it?
What's that?
Isn't our whole Twitch stream existence a rabbit
This
hole?
is it's just a derailment after derailment.
Yeah,
It's
rabbit hole.
tragic.
Same thing.
Hey, Grundy, good to see you. Yeah,
What's
don't
up,
worry, you haven't missed
Francisco?
anything. Well, no, you did miss. We did like 4 minutes worth of work, and now we're just BSing. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna finish through the beauty stuff. So this was all stuff that I had done on my own, just to show this type of thing potentially, so I could get work like this.
Interesting.
And I did. So this is the piece I did
That's really
for
nice.
um, Best Health, which is associated with Reader's Digest. It's like a Canadian publication, Best Health. So it was a bunch of perfume bottles, and I was to do watercolor. You know, she wanted that watercolor style, and what's so cool about it was they sent the bottles to me.
Oh, that's awesome.
They actually had a driver come out in a car.
A courier.
Yeah, a courier came with these bottles.
Wow.
And I asked, can I smell them so that I can get an idea of what they smell like? Because, maybe that's going to help inform what I'm doing. And so, yeah, I didn't really care for any of them necessarily, but it was cool because I had them physically and I could take pictures of them and use, get all kind of reference and everything. That was really, really cool. Like, it's not often that you're going to get that.
Well, it
Yeah,
depends on what level of review or product stuff you're doing, I suppose.
it's true. Like, I wasn't reviewing the stuff, I was just doing the art for it.
I watch a lot. Mostly my YouTube is either interviews or podcasts, or I watch the Gamers Nexus and I watch Jay's 2 Cents. They're like computer nerd builders.
Okay.
But the guy Steve from Gamers Nexus just did a video and on basically knocking MSI for shady practices that they do. But he
Hmm.
talked a lot about how the review process works. So yeah, I like Jay's 2 Cents. He just seems like kind of like a normal dude. But anyway,
DJ Megahammer knows about Steve, 1989. Steve 1989. Yeah,
5-year-old canned chicken can't go wrong.
it's
Mm.
ridiculous some of the stuff he's done, and he, oh my gosh, he gets sick occasionally, very rarely actually.
He gets
It's actually
sick
tough.
occasionally. Do you know the problem with that is like some of these diseases that people get, especially from eating food or waterborne illnesses, they can stay with you permanently for the rest of your life. Like I'm not really too interested in eating MREs, but I suppose I could see the merit in watching somebody
Well,
simply do
you
that.
actually get a really good lesson about how to judge if something's gone off or not.
Can't you
With
smell it?
what's that?
Can't you smell it
But yeah,
to a
potentially
degree
if
or
you
see
smell
it?
if it's something really dried out, or if it's crumbly, or if it's chunked up, or there's a bunch of different like ways.
Yeah.
If the can is like swollen, you probably don't want to eat that.
So if the
Just
Armageddon completes like it seems like
yeah,
it's going to, then we'll know you can't just eat Twinkies. Eventually, you have to find some MREs, and you need to know how to eat these MREs.
it's really cool to see. He'll eat
Okay.
new stuff. He'll eat old stuff. He eats stuff from all over the world because all these collectors they like do swaps and stuff.
Right, you're getting like Belgian Army
Yes,
chocolates from
yes,
1890.
yeah. And
That
for
makes
it was a
sense.
naked palette I started with. Like it was a small little naked palette. That's the company. Urban Decay is the company.
Ah,
Um,
Furroy, you were in the military. Thank you for your service. Number one.
Very
What
cool.
branch? That's pretty cool. Yeah. So sorry. Go ahead. Let's
Yeah, so
talk about.
this is for Best Health, this magazine. So I actually got to do work that was similar to the work that I had just been doing on my own. Um, and here's another one I did. This was for today. I think this was for Today's Parent. And this was like watercolor. They wanted watercolor flower backgrounds with and very specific product illustrations that have very specific types of lettering. And I did all the lettering by hand, which was probably my bad because it was so much extra work to do it by hand than just taking the photo, taking the font, like this lettering off the actual product and just slapping it on. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to give it a hand done feel, and it
Amazing.
took way longer. Yes, I had to do a lot of fidgeting around with it in the Photoshop to make it work because I naturally have very large writing,
Was this all
and
done in Photoshop?
no, I did this stuff. Well, you can't tell, this is very pixelated, but I did this all by hand
Oh
and then
God.
put it in Photoshop and then fixed it around and rearranged it so that I tried to even emulate the fonts and stuff by hand.
So like the flowers and stuff, is it's just different layers, I guess. That's how you did
Yes,
it.
different layers.
Gotcha.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all about Korean skincare for it. Yeah, BB creams was a huge thing, but the problem I had with BB creams is they would never match my skin tone. They looked very gray on me, and I've got kind of like more yellow toned skin, and so it um never did the trick. So I kind of ultimately I gave up on them, though I did try a
Yeah,
couple different.
the skin's products are not made. Uh, they're not universal. Your skin color does change. It does matter what products you use.
Yeah, but what's interesting is that I would get these, you'd get these Korean products, but like you'd think a Korean product might work for my skin, but it actually
Maybe.
still was too light colored.
Yeah.
And also, well, the one I had best results with was it was a Japanese BB cream. So that kind of worked a bit better, but it was definitely more yellow toned. I guess it
Interesting.
completely depends.
Even in Japan, they crazy for
Yes.
Korean
Yeah. There's
skincare.
all like Korea does like Korean women have the most steps in their beauty routine than any other women in the world, apparently, on
Really
average. So
interesting.
yeah. So next we have, oh yeah, so this is I did for today's parent. So this is again, specific products that they were talking about. Cult, I think they were cult products because you can see they use Saint Laurent, the Touche Eclat, and you've got MAC, probably teddy bear lipstick color, Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. You've got the thing on the end, on the right hand side is Clé de Peau, which is a French thing that people love. It's concealer that's like cult, and a bunch of so all these are very particular products, and so um, I did the line, I did the watercolor, probably separate, and I probably can put them together later. NARS, yeah, for all I know is the NARS blush. So I love how you know about this stuff because I feel like I'm the only one here that would know it. So it's nice. NARS is a makeup company, and this is their cult color. No, Froy, do you know the name of this cult color of NARS blush? I wish I could give you channel points if you know it, but I don't know how to do that.
I can't even do it. Can I?
I, oh, you don't know the shade? Oh, the shade's called Orgasm.
Oh, naturally.
Yeah. Moving on.
This used to
Um,
be a family channel.
No, I know. Well, that's what it's called. And if it's in the marketplace, then it has to be cleared by some people.
Does it?
Um, I don't know. And so here is some perfumes. This is stuff that I own that I just wanted to probably also to show on my site to show what just simple line illustrations. And I actually do own this Marc Jacobs biscotti. It smells. It doesn't smell like biscotti though, which is I guess I don't know. It's a gourmand scent. It's supposed to be, but it does not smell like biscotti. Although I don't know if I'd want to smell like biscotti. You think it smelled kind of like almond, but it doesn't.
Yeah, I could kind of get that it wouldn't smell. I don't know. It's
No,
not
it doesn't.
something I'd want
Well,
to smell like necessarily.
well, you'd be amazed what some people want to smell like.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
true.
Prada. This is Low Ombre,
I'm more
and
amazed what people do smell like often.
I love this perfume still. This is gorgeous. I think is it what is it? Eau de parfum or eau de toilette?
What
I
scent?
can't remember.
That's a good question. What scent would Nancy Maple have, or is it obvious?
Maple? Oh, she would
Would she
not have
smell like
maple.
maple syrup? I don't. I don't
I
know. I
would
don't think so.
I would have to look up what was available at that time because nowadays, of course, there's so many
Lavender.
synthetic. Yeah, lavender would have been available for sure. Um, you know, I'd have to see what the popular perfumes of the day would be. But like I said before, she probably would have just smelled like ivory soap or something because, or
They had
because
that.
she. Oh yeah, ivory's really old. I'm pretty sure it was around at that time.
Hmm. Interesting.
Let's see. But yeah, this is I have this bottle and hope this is a gorgeous smell. Another one I have is this. This one I kind of got sick of because it smelled way too sweet. But this is a Guerlain Aqua Allegoria Flora Nymphea. It smells really cool though, but it just smells too sweet for me. I'm not into the sweet stuff. Slut Studio, funny you should ask. Look as a common parts to command, but can she smell people? There's a few parts in the game where you can use smell, but it's not implemented as fully as I would like.
There's a lot
Yeah,
of.
it's
I mean,
Flora.
think about the What is it? Larry
Yep.
Space
You could
Quest.
smell in Colonel's Bequest as well in a
You
couple
couldn't.
places.
You can't smell in Quest for Glory. At least not in the point and click ones. I'm trying to think of what other ones. I know you can. They don't have those commands in any of the LucasArts, do they? Smell?
I don't think so.
Maybe one of the clones.
And I think we're coming near to the end of it. This is Tom Ford's Black Orchid. I also really love this. This is aquatic scent. Scent is a genre, is aquatic, and I actually don't usually like that type of scent, but I really like this one. Um, It's got a lot of interesting notes to it, and I love the bottle. The bottle is gorgeous. It's like black glass with like a gold, like a dark gold front. Yeah. But I would do stuff like this. There's a site called Fragrantica, which it basically is every single perfume that's ever been made, and it breaks it down to notes. And what happens is, because smell is very subjective, people can vote on what notes that they personally smell in it. So what you get is the top choices are the ones, the most agreed upon notes are what gets listed at the top. Yes, Tadagasa, like, yeah, there's that. I think Larry had a scratch and sniff
Yeah,
card.
Larry in Love for Sale. I don't have the
Oh yeah, that's it.
um, I don't have the big box though of that one,
That is
sadly.
all the beauty stuff.
Okay, let's jump back. There we
Yeah.
go. Oh, I got to turn off this thing in Discord. Boom, boom.
Well, I guess so. What I guess I'm saying, and what Dan kind of demonstrated here was that if you want to get work of a certain type, you need to kind of show that you can do those things.
Yeah, that makes sense. And obviously, the more information you have about where you're applying, the better. If you don't have information, or if you're doing like Julia, you want to get work in that particular lane, that would make sense. Leisure Suit Larry 7 did. Is that Love for Sale? Is that the one? Because I know that one had it in there in like the little CD-ROM. There's a scratch and sniff. I think. I don't know. I don't have.
I would love that in a big box Nancy Maple for sure. I would love it. I would have like a pine smell. I would have a maple syrup smell. I would have like a wood fire smell. I already know half of them that it. Oh,
Would you have a lounge
that's
lizard
beautiful,
smell?
Dan.
So unfortunately, it's not super beautiful. The side is like, I don't know if it's smoke damage or what. What exactly? It
I
doesn't smell.
see.
It doesn't smell like smoke. But this one, the tough, just like in your big box of Colonel's Bequest, the tough thing to find is the notepad or the
Pencil.
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 Yeah. The tough thing in this one to find is this. This is the famous Larry napkin,
Okay.
the bar napkin.
Beautiful. That's so cool that they did that.
Yeah, they did a lot of wild stuff, and there's actually good Twitter conversation going on right now. My buddy Enrico, who you were trying to help out the other day.
Yes.
Um,
Unfortunately, couldn't.
yeah, that's okay. He got it sorted out.
Oh,
He said
good.
he
That's
was
good.
already in touch with everybody.
Awesome.
He was talking to Richard Garriott about Ultima 2, and that's the reason he decided to publish with Sierra, is because
Yes, cloth map.
yeah, the cloth map, exactly, Ultima 2. And he
Yes.
said the cost was expensive. It was very expensive to
Yeah.
produce. The map was $2 or something, or
Yeah.
$3, and something else was
For
$2.
yeah.
So the cost was very high. There you go. Richard just said the cloth maps were $2, and then he said something else was 3. The box was 3 or something
Oh
like
my
that.
gosh. Yeah, that's why we don't do big box releases
Box and
anymore.
papers were 3. Yep. Monkey Island developer said they put a signed $1 bill in one of the boxes and has never appeared. Wow. It's probably gone. It probably went to somebody who just didn't care.
Yeah.
Too bad. Yeah, the Ultima series has a lot of great feelies. Any of the Ultima games. Um, do I have any here?
Well, your mic, Dan, is yeah, like you said, you have to get right up on that to hear you
Yeah,
because
that's a dynamic mic. It's supposed to be
it's
that
a
way. I have Underworld
yeah.
2 here, but I think this is a
Oh.
special version. This is like a later release. It has a map, but it's paper. I don't think there's
Oh,
any
paper.
particularly good feelies, but let me show off one. I'll show off one really good one. Julia, you can entertain them for a second because I got to grab it off my other deal.
Okay. I don't know. I want to make, if I ever did a Twitch sings stream, I'd want to make it something where you guys give me a lot of something to do that. I don't know what it would be because it wouldn't be money. But I don't know if there's a certain milestone I could reach where I would do that. I don't know.
So I have actually brought 2, even though I said I was
Okay.
only going to bring 1. Let's
Liar.
start with Ultima 6, The False Prophet. This is a very famous cover done by Dennis Lubay.
So good.
A lot of people think this is the best cover art of any Ultima game. I don't know. Maybe. I'm
It's
actually
great.
not a huge Ultima guy, but I did have to own this. Of course, cloth map, naturally. But what's even wilder is there's a rock called a
Oh
moonstone.
yes.
And this is part of the deal through the Moongate, the whole whatever.
What's it called again?
The
I talked over
moonstone.
you.
This is a moonstone.
Moon's
So this is like this little rock happening to be in a box would probably throw some people off thinking this isn't even supposed to be here. Yep, the Ankh is in one of the versions as well. I don't think I have that. I don't have a lot of Ultima games.
The irony of that is that that's not actually a moonstone. There's actually a stone called moonstone. It doesn't look anything like that.
Right. My chat paid for me to do a Twitch Sting stream and I still haven't done it. Oh my god, I want to be there for that. I really hope to be there for that, Dr. Mikachu. Now,
I love that. I feel so much better now because I'm like, I want money, cold hard cash.
yeah,
But then I don't want to ask for money, so it's just not gonna happen.
send some subscriptions or Patreons to Julia and say this is the reason we're doing it, or do gift subs on our next stream. So here's another interesting one. Now this is much later. This is Ultima 9 Ascension. This is the Dragon Edition,
Okay.
which may not look that large on stream, but let's compare it. So like, I don't know, here's Betrayal at Krondor. It dwarfs. It's gigantic. It's huge.
So it does have a laser disc in there. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. It's literally like a board game box, like a giant board game box. And I think the same process is used to manufacture board game boxes as these boxes. But this has all kinds of stuff. This has like a certificates of authenticity, United States, what? Oh, that's not even related.
Oh my gosh, Dan.
This is for United States quarters. I'm not sure why this is in here, to be
What
honest.
What is that?
The first quarters of the
Quarters?
United States collector's map. I'm fairly certain this is not part of it.
It fits
Oh,
in there.
dear.
Just keep it in there. Where else are you gonna put it?
Well, yeah, maybe I should, right? I don't even know why I have it though. This is a card, like some kind of, I don't know what kind of cards these are. They're called something. Here is a thing. This is like the keyboard commands, but it's also art. This is a book, but like it's cool, like it's almost like leather bound.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. Here's
Pretty
another
nice.
one. And I think this is stuff because it's the quote unquote Dragon Edition. Of course, there's a cloth map. Oops. Do I have this upside down? I think that's right, side up. Card of Virtue. Maybe it was a Card of Virtue. That might be right.
That's beautiful cloth. Yeah.
Then I actually found in here, there is an Ankh. If you can see that. Very small.
Beautiful.
And then, what it didn't come with, all this stuff. Oh, this is actually for another game. This is the install guide. The only thing this particular copy didn't come with, sadly, was the... Oh, here's more cards. It didn't come with the actual CDs to install the game. So, and that's because I bought it from eBay or somewhere, I forget. But it even came with this guy, which is like a little poster. More Dennis Lubay artwork.
Beautiful. Purple French electric pickles.
Yeah, and there's some cool interviews if you want to look on the YouTubes. The Big Box PC Game Collectors on YouTube. They have a nice interview with Dennis Lubay, and he kind of talks about, even though it's a couple years old, he kind of talks about a lot of this artwork and what he still has, and shows off some box covers and what his favorite stuff is. So if you want to, get into the original art and artists of some of this stuff, it's out there. It's available.
Well, I have
Which is
two big
awesome.
boxes I can share, Dan, that
Please.
are probably just about as cool as yours at the very least.
Oh, should be 8 cards. Let me see if I have 8 cards. Yeah, sure, but go ahead. Share your box.
All right, you can look for your 8 cards.
I'll see if I have my 8 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, there's 2 more. 7, 8. I got 8 cards. That is much nicer than my Ultima Online or Ultima 9 Ascension Dragon Edition box.
How many people do you know that have CD Stomper CD labeling
Well, I know I
system?
did. And I know also the biggest issue with these things, they actually jammed up CD-ROM drives. They ruined a lot of CD-ROM drives. Because the
This one's in
paper,
fantastic condition. There's
well,
a bit of
it was more the fact that the label itself was too thick. So some of those CD-ROM drives that you put the CD inside, it would like literally cause it to not play. It also caused extra weight on the CD. Yeah, they ruined your computer cup holder.
okay, and I've
Yeah.
got this too. Speaking of Dr. Mikachu was talking about what was she talking about? She had the
Here, let's go back to what the whole point of the stream.
no, we're not
Sorry,
there
here
yet.
we go. No, we're right here. I'm just showing.
Oh, okay, yes.